Chapter 794. Baya was touched and looked at him. You eat too. When the king crab is cold, I can eat it. I'm quite good at eating king crab. I'll peel it for you. Gu Lingqing's simple sentence was a statement. It was irresistible. It was domineering and strong, but her heart was warm. Baya didn't reject his kindness and ate the king crab. You eat too, Baya said. Okay, Gu Lingqing answered. Baya's king crab wasn't so hot. She cut it and ate it herself. It was a happy thing to chat with a friend while eating king crab. Have you told Xiong that we're leaving? Baya asked. Not yet. I'm going to tell him tonight. Do you think he'll agree? We've helped him solve a few troublesome cases. Baya took a sip and sucked the meat out of the crab's leg. It was especially delicious. He has to agree. After all, it's our freedom to stay or leave, Gu Lingqing said with certainty. She was relieved when he said that. If Xiong wanted to be promoted, the more strange cases he solved, the better. If they left, Xiong would lose his bargaining chip. He would definitely ask her to stay, but if she wanted to leave, Xiong wouldn't be able to stop her. After a while, the waiter brought the cheese paella over. There were squid and prawns in the paella. There was also nutritious and delicious caviar in it. It was very crispy. Actually, she was already full after eating half of it. However, it wasn't tiring to chat with Gu Lingqing. She quite liked this kind of life. When she was full, she would rest for a while. Although Gu Lingqing didn't talk much, no matter what she asked, he would answer her patiently. He knew a lot of things and was very knowledgeable. She had never heard of many things before, so she listened with great interest. Do you have anything to do in the afternoon? Gu Lingqing asked. I don't have anything to do in the afternoon. I have a patient tomorrow morning, but he hasn't looked for me recently. I'll give him a call later. Maybe I don't have to go tomorrow morning, so I'm free tomorrow. The day after tomorrow, a girl might come for hypnosis. I'll ask my assistant to call and ask, Baya said. You don't see many patients. I didn't open a clinic to make money. I just don't want to be too bored. After all, this is my main profession. I don't want to waste it, nor do I want to work too hard. When we go back, I will arrange the corresponding work for you. The intensity will not be high. If you are tired, tell me and I will help you adjust, Gu Lingqing said. Let's support each other and improve together. Baya finished the crab feet and started to eat the middle part. You don't seem to have eaten much. You should eat more. Baya's phone rang. Seeing that it was Shen, she picked it up. Baya, we've chosen a girl. Come over and take a look. See if she is suitable. Baya felt that they were too dependent on her. Shen, I'll leave soon. You have to judge for yourselves. I can't be here all the time. What do you mean? You'll leave soon? Where are you going? Shen was shocked. Back to my country, Baya said directly. Shen was stunned. Does Xiong know about this? Baya glanced at Gu Lingqing. I don't know yet, but I'll know soon. I won't be coming over. Send me the video of the girl later. I'll have a look. Oh, okay. Shen hung up. I'll tell Xiong after dinner, Gu Lingqing said. Tell her. You're going to leave anyway. It's good to let them prepare in advance. Baya took a deep breath. She was too full. She lay on the sofa and tapped the table with her fingers. Oh, didn't you say that you have some problems in your heart? Do you want to tell me now? My problems are because of you. Since you're by my side, I naturally don't have any problems, Gu Lingqing said faintly, the corners of her lips curling up slightly. You're lying. You look a little uncomfortable. You're trying to hide it. You're smiling because you're uncomfortable. Don't you want to tell me? Baya asked again. Gu Lingqing nodded. Maybe. Xiaoya, I don't want to tell you yet. Can you give me some time? I don't want to tell you not because I want to hide it from you. I just don't want you to be troubled with me. But soon, I'll be able to solve all the problems. Baya looked at him. His eyes were deep, firm and distant. He was calm and reserved. It was hard to tell from his face, but it was also convincing. I'll give you a year. If you don't tell me after a year, I'll be angry. After that, I won't talk to you anymore, Baya said. Okay, let's make a deal. I'll tell you before November next year. After the meal, they went home together. Xiaobai heard the sound of the car from afar. He was exchanging in the backyard. Baya took the dog food to the backyard. Xiaobai stuck out his tongue, wagged his tail and ran back happily. Baya fed him the food. Xiaobai lowered his head and ate. Are you tired? If you're tired, take a nap, Gu Lingqing stood behind her and said. I didn't have the habit of taking a nap in the afternoon. Baya said. She looked at him and smiled. You can change your habits. If you have time to take a nap in the afternoon, you'll be especially energetic in the afternoon. It's also good for your body. It can let your muscles and bones rest. Rest for a while. I've already lit the incense for you, Gu Lingqing said. Baya took a deep breath and entered the house. The room was filled with her favorite smell and her favorite music. Listening to it made her feel at peace. It was as if she was standing in the center of the universe. She went back to her room to sleep. Gu Lingqing just sat at the head of her bed. Baya didn't understand and asked, Aren't you going to sleep? You sleep. I'll watch you sleep, Gu Lingqing said softly. Baya closed her eyes and soon fell asleep. After a long time, when she opened her eyes again, Gu Lingqing wasn't there. She shouted, Gu Lingqing. No one answered her. She felt uneasy. If Gu Lingqing was there, he would answer her and appear in front of her. She seemed to have seen this scene in her dreams. She got up from the bed, opened the door and looked downstairs. Gu Lingqing wasn't there. She walked to the backyard. Xiaobai was lying on the lawn and sleeping. There was no sound of Gu Lingqing. It was strange. If he went out, he should have told her, shouldn't he? She called him. The phone rang 5 times before he answered. You're awake. His voice was deep and emotionless. It felt cold, and there was a chill in his tone. Where are you? Baya asked carefully. I have something to do. I'll be back in about half an hour. Is it inconvenient to talk about something? Baya asked. Chapter 795. After saying that, he hung up the phone. Baya's heart sank a little. She remembered that when she first saw Gu Lingqing, he seemed to be chased by some people. Could it be that his trip this time had something to do with these people? There were many mysteries about Gu Lingqing. She didn't understand and was afraid to understand. After so many years of studying psychology, she knew that the more you cared about something, the more you had to force yourself not to think about it and not to investigate it. The more you worried, the more you were afraid, the more you put your heart and soul on someone, the more you couldn't work. When you couldn't help him at all, you would become a burden to him. She got up and cleaned the house, but Gu Lingqing still didn't come back. People were really strange. She told Alan that if you found a person, this person could make you worry about him and make you unable to let go, then you found the right person. However, when you really met such a person, it was hard to calm your heart. When that kind of heart-wrenching feeling was serious, you might as well live alone. At least, there were no times when you were sad, and there were no times when your heart would ache faintly. God was fair to everyone. When you didn't want to love, when there was no love, you could see more of the world. When there was love, you could only see and think of her. She was afraid that she would feel uncomfortable and call him, so she turned off her phone. She left her phone at home and went out with an umbrella. She went to the park for a walk, walked to the lake, bought a bag of fish food, and fed the fish. After a while, many goldfish came. They fought for food. There were more and more fish. Baya raised a smile, simple and happy. Patron Bai, someone shouted. Baya turned around in surprise. It was a man in a monk's robe, with very white skin and a sincere smile on his face. His skin was very white, and he was handsome and kind. He made her feel very comfortable. He called her Patron Bai, so he should be someone who knew her. Unfortunately, she really forgot a lot. Hello, Baya said with a smile. The ancient mage's smile became even brighter. It seems that you have thought it through and are no longer obsessed. Baya's heart ached faintly. I didn't figure it out. I just forgot a lot of things that I couldn't figure out. Grandmaster Gufa was very calm. Do you regret it? Baya shook her head. I think that at that time, I must have been at a stage where I couldn't take it anymore. She forgot everything, so in exchange for the peace I have now, my state of mind changes according to the environment. Even a usually docile rabbit would reveal its ferocious side and bite people in a bad environment. My state of mind during that period of time should have collapsed. So, I don't regret my choice at that time. It's just a process. You've undergone nirvana, Master Gufa said happily. Benefactor, you're the last person I've seen with the root of wisdom. You don't have to come and recruit me. Even if I do, I will be in a nunnery. Baya said jokingly. Buddhism is just a formality. Buddha is in your heart, and you can cultivate Buddhism anywhere. It's fine as long as Benefactor Baya is happy. Have you always been in the US? Baya asked curiously. I'm here for academic research, so I'll be staying here for 2 days. Have you finished eating? Let me treat you to dinner. Baya invited. It's okay. I'm a vegetarian. They've made arrangements. I just want to catch up with you and learn from you, Master. Master Gufa smiled. Let's go then. I know of a restaurant opened by a Chinese, but it's a bit far. They grow their own vegetables and the vegetables are quite fresh. I wonder if you're busy tonight. I can rest today. Master Gufa, wait for me on the road for 5 minutes. I'll go back and drive. Let's walk together. I've been walking for the whole day. I'm out for a walk because I want to relax. Master Gufa made a walking gesture. Master, many people are troubled by love. Will they come to you for guidance? Baya asked curiously. It seems like you've forgotten a lot of things. I only show people according to fate. I only see 2 people a day. I won't see more than that, Master Gufar explained. Among the people you see, is there anyone who is troubled by love? Baya changed the way she asked. Yes, you. You're the most troubled person I've ever seen. For love, you can stain your hands with blood. Fortunately, it's all for the sake of fame. So, God is kind and gave you nirvana rebirth. Stain my hands with blood? Baya was shocked. Her eyes were filled with tears. Then she smiled. I've forgotten about it too. Sheng Dongcheng, Zhuochuani's death was planned by you. You also contributed to Xing Buhua's rise to power. Have you forgotten about all these? Yes, I've forgotten about it. No wonder there's no resentment, murderous intent, or hatred in your eyes. You're very peaceful. But, are you still troubled by love? Master Gufa asked softly. His voice was really pleasant to listen to. It was like the sound of nature imbued with the light of Buddha, making people feel relaxed both physically and mentally. Love is a very subtle thing. There's a limit to everything. The more you love, the more you pester, the more you care, and the more you force it, the further you can push the other party away. The right way to deal with it is to do your own thing and focus on yourself. Even if you care, you have to control yourself and be indifferent. This way, if the other party is comfortable with you, he'll never leave. Even if he leaves, it's okay because he's already used to living without him, Baya said calmly. You've done well. You've done well in everything you do, Grandmaster Gufa said, pleased. Baya went home to get his car. Gu Lingqing wasn't back yet. In his heart, he felt a little disappointed. However, even if he was disappointed, it was useless. He couldn't change the situation, so he had to get used to it. Baya drove for more than an hour and stopped at a farm. Master Gufa followed Baya in to eat. The hostess was happy to see Baya. Dr. Bai. I'm here with my friends. I've made 5 vegetarian dishes. Do as you see fit. Baya handed it over to the hostess. All right, I'll go pick the vegetables now. Have a seat and have a cup of fruit tea. I made it this year, the hostess said and brewed them some fruit tea. Do you still want your fortunes read? Master Gufa asked. Baya shook her head. I don't want to. I can't force it. I'll just let nature take its course. I'll be at peace and live happily. Master Gufa smiled. You've reached nirvana. You're more enlightened than me. When you leave, bring some watermelons with you. They grow their own watermelons and they're really sweet. However, the watermelons now are too late. Next month, we'll only know about the watermelons in the greenhouse, Baya explained. She saw a familiar figure from the corner of her eyes and she turned to look. Gu Lingqing stood at the door and looked at her with a burning gaze. Chapter 796. Baya had a sour feeling in his heart, but he did not show it. He smiled and asked, "Why are you here?" Gu Lingqing walked towards Baya. "I've told you that my people have been protecting you. So, I know where you've been and what you've been doing." Baya's heart sank. He felt annoyed as if he was being watched. "Don't get anyone to follow me anymore. It makes me uncomfortable. I'm worried that something might happen to you." Gu Lingqing did not agree. Baya chuckled. "Nothing will happen. If something happens, then it's fate. It doesn't matter. I care." Gu Lingqing stopped the topic with these 3 simple words and looked at Master Gufa. Master Gufa stood up with great self-restraint, nodded slightly to Gu Lingqing and said, "Almsgiver Gu, long time no see." Gu Lingqing also nodded at Master Gufa. "Long time no see. The food here is delicious. Come and sit with us," Baya said to Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing did not say anything. He sat next to Baya and picked up Baya's cup of tea. Master Gufa looked at Gu Lingqing and frowned. Baya noticed his expression and asked, "What's wrong?" Master Gufa smiled and shook his head. He did not want to say more. The 3 of them did not say anything. The atmosphere was tense. Baya took a deep breath. Suddenly, he did not have anything to say. He smiled and asked Master Gufa, "Can I go when you're discussing Buddhist scriptures tomorrow? I think it'll be interesting." Gu Lingqing looked at Baya. Baya noticed his gaze but pretended not to see it. "Of course," Master Gufa said. "Can you give me an address and time?" "I'll give you my phone number. You can contact me when the time comes," Master Gufan said. Baya smiled happily and took out his phone. "Looks like today is a very lucky day for me to be able to get the master's phone number." Grandmaster Gufa also smiled. "I look forward to your arrival tomorrow." Gu Lingqing's face became darker and darker. He drank all the water in Baya's cup. The first dish that the hostess brought over was a green pumpkin vine. "Master, please enjoy," Baya invited. Master Gufa took a bite. "It's really fresh." The hostess quickly brought over the tomato eggs and said to Master Gufan, "I know that you Buddhists believe that egg yolk is meat and egg white is vegetable. These eggs are all fried with egg white." "Thank you, benefactor." Grandmaster Gufa expressed his gratitude. "You're welcome. It's what I should do." The hostess left happily. "Master, have you eaten meat before?" Baya asked curiously. "I haven't. I was abandoned at the entrance of the temple when I was still a baby. It was my master who saved me," Master Gufa said. "Do you want to eat meat?" Baya asked again. Master Gufa smiled. "I don't want to. Vegetables are enough to fill my stomach. Why would I want anything else? I can focus on other things. Eating is just to maintain one's basic skills. In fact, eating less is good for the body." "Have you been in love before?" Baya asked again. "No," Master Gufa said with a smile. "Have you thought about being in love before?" Baya asked. "I don't want to. My life is already very fulfilling. It's so fulfilling that I don't need anything else. Great love is more precious than love. I need more love to love others." Grandmaster Ancient Spell said. Baya carefully thought about what Master Gufa said. Great love is more precious than romantic love. Does she not have love? That's why she's worried about love. The hostess served the 3rd dish, sweet potato leaves. This is a seasonal dish. It's only available now. After this season, it'll be very difficult to eat it, the hostess introduced. "Okay, thank you." The hostess saw that another man had come. She was busy cooking and forgot to pour tea. She immediately prepared a cup for Gu Lingqing and a pot of fruit tea. "Thank you," Baya said with a smile. The hostess was very happy too. She happily went to cook. During the meal, Baya and Master Gufa were the only ones chatting. Gu Lingqing sat at the side. He didn't touch the food or say anything. He just drank a lot of fruit tea. After the meal, they were going back. Gu Lingqing stood up and walked out of the door. Baya looked at Gu Lingqing and felt uncomfortable. She thought that she didn't do anything wrong. However, Gu Lingqing gave her a gloomy look, which made her very annoyed. After walking out of the door, she said to Gu Lingqing kindly, "I drove my own car here. I'll send Master Gufa back later." Gu Lingqing gritted her teeth, turned her face away, got into her car, and drove away first. Baya sighed. She had guts. They felt like they were no longer in the same world. It was easy to fall in love, but difficult to get along. That was how it was. They would consume the love they had in the past in getting along until there was only mutual disgust, hatred, and annoyance left. In the end, they would go their separate ways and never see each other again. Perhaps, it would be the same for her and Gu Lingqing. Her usual job was to guess people's minds. She just wanted to live a casual life and breathe freely. Giving up might be a way out. She didn't think about anything for the time being. She got into her car, and Master Gufa sat next to her. He should be angry, Master Gufa said. Anger will hurt others and affect their mood. But in fact, the one who hurts the most is himself. If he can't get over it. Baya paused and didn't continue. It's strange. Your evil spirit has been eliminated, but Gu Lingqing's evil spirit is even stronger than it was 2 years ago, Master Gufa said as he looked ahead. Life is a kind of cultivation. If you cultivate well, you'll be able to see through love and make yourself and others feel comfortable. If you don't, you won't be able to grow. You'll be in a cycle of negative emotions. That's my opinion, Baya said. She took a deep breath and drove. It was already late. The streetlights were turned on, and the flickering light fell on her elegant face. Master Gufa looked at Baya. Are you ready to give up? Baya smiled. Master, if you become a psychologist, your achievements will be higher than mine. You understand human nature better than I do, and you understand the law better. Chapter 797. Everyone had their own beliefs. Baya didn't question Master Gufa's beliefs. Perhaps, she had done too many bad things in her previous life. That was why she was having such a hard time in this life. Perhaps if I pass through all the tribulations in this life, I'll be able to live a happy life in my next life, Baya joked. Suddenly, something darted out. Baya was shocked and stopped the car. What's wrong? Master Gufa asked. I don't know. There seems to be something. Baya opened the door and walked out. She saw a woman lying on the ground. She was wearing tattered clothes and her eyes were filled with fear. Are you okay? Baya asked. Save me, the woman said anxiously. Get in the car, Baya said without thinking. The woman quickly stood up and wanted to get in Baya's car. Gu Lingqing was behind them. He stopped and said to the woman, Get in my car. The woman looked at Baya and Gu Lingqing. Then, she got in Gu Lingqing's car. Gu Lingqing didn't say anything and drove away. Baya had a weird feeling. Then, she returned to the car. Benefactor Gu is a person who is very secretive, Grandmaster Gufa said. Yeah, he's very secretive. He doesn't show his thoughts on his face. I can't see through him. I might as well not try to see through him. Baya smiled. Master Gufa smiled. I'm looking forward to your arrival tomorrow. Maybe I can get a sponsor and build a nunnery on my mountain. Although we won't be under the same roof, we can talk about Buddhism often. It's a good thing. I'm tempted. There's a mountain, and it sounds great, Baya said, playing a Buddhist song. Master Gufa was surprised. You usually listen to this song? I listen to it often. It calms my mind and removes my fatigue, Baya took a deep breath and said. Yes, I think so too. Just put it in the park where you saw me, Master Archmage said. I'll send you directly to your place. I still have other things to do, Master Gufa said. Since he said so, Baya couldn't force him. She drove the Master of Ancient Magic to the park and then drove back. Gu Lingqing was not back yet. When she heard Xiao Bai's barking, she smiled and took the dog food to the backyard to feed Xiao Bai. Little White wagged its tail as it ate. Baya rubbed Little White's head and thought that it was too lonely in the backyard. She wanted to find a wife for it so that it wouldn't be lonely. After feeding Little White, she went back to her room. Just like how she used to live alone, she put on some beautiful music, lit up some aromatherapy, turned on the water, went to the bathroom to get a towel, took off her clothes, wrapped it around her, and washed her clothes. The clothes were washed and the water was ready. She lay in the fish tank. Ever since Alan came, she hadn't had a good bath like this. It was so comfortable. Time trickled by. She heard a knock on the door. It was probably Gu Lingqing, but she couldn't be bothered. She didn't want to see him today. She would feel frustrated and uncomfortable. The sound outside the door disappeared and Baya continued to soak in the water. With a click, the bathroom door opened. Baya turned around in surprise and looked at Gu Lingqing. "I didn't give you the key." The moment she said that, Gu Lingqing's eyes darkened. The other meaning of that sentence was that she didn't open the door on purpose. His eyes darkened and he went out. Baya didn't care and continued to soak in the bath. She didn't think about anything else. After another 10 minutes, she got up, changed her clothes, dried her hair, and came out. Gu Lingqing sat on the sofa quietly and looked at him. His expression was much better now. He looked at her carefully and explained, "I can come in without the key." Baya's lips twitched. This skill sounds a little scary. Gu Lingqing's heart was entangled by poisonous vines. It was sour and painful. She looked at Baya deeply. "I thought you weren't back yet." "I think that even a married couple needs personal space. What do you think?" Baya asked. Gu Lingqing looked at her and didn't say a word. His eyes darkened. "I think it's a little tiring to be with you. You don't like to talk and I can't see you clearly. Gu Lingqing, you can go back first today. I want to rest alone. Is that okay?" Baya said in a friendly tone. "I'm sorry," Gu Lingqing said. Baya smiled. "You didn't do me wrong. You have the right to do whatever you want." Gu Lingqing stood up and walked towards Baya. He hugged her and skipped thousands of words. He said in a low voice, "Don't chase me away." Baya looked straight ahead. Perhaps she had endured a lot today and wasn't in a good mood. She tried her best to control herself, but she couldn't say anything to make him stay. She felt that if he stayed today, she would be more depressed. The depression hadn't been resolved and it would explode sooner or later. "I'm sorry, please give me some time," Baya said firmly. Gu Lingqing's whole body froze, and he stood there stiffly. Baya pushed him away and opened the door. Gu Lingqing looked at her. "Then keep your phone switched on at all times." Baya smiled and didn't say a word. Gu Lingqing walked towards the door dispiritedly. When he passed by her, he stopped and looked at her without saying a word. "It's late," Baya reminded. "Forgive me," Gu Lingqing said these 3 simple words. Baya smiled. "You didn't do anything wrong. You don't have to put yourself in such a lowly position. You've already forgotten me. How can I not be lowly? You can let go and be carefree. How can I not be lowly? The next second, you don't want me anymore. How can I not be lowly?" Gu Lingqing was a little emotional. Her heart was squeezed tightly. Put your focus on yourself and do what you should do. That way, even if there's no one else, you'll still persist in doing what you want. Life is meaningful. In this world, it's not that you can't live without someone, Baya said coldly. "My focus is you," Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. His gaze was firm and persistent. Baya smiled. She really felt that it was quite funny. She didn't want to say anything at first. She wanted to digest it tonight and continue to be in a good mood tomorrow. Chapter 798. Gu Lingqing's expression softened and he looked at her with a burning gaze. "I can explain." "No need, I don't want to hear it." "That's your business," Baya said coldly. "So you're kicking me out?" Gu Lingqing frowned and asked. "I wanted to think about our relationship, but I think there's no need to think about it anymore. You can think that I'm cold or heartless, but I'm just that kind of person. I'm not worthy of your love. Our relationship ends here. You said that we haven't divorced yet, so let's do it sometime. I don't want any of your assets." "What about Shosho? You don't want it either?" Gu Lingqing asked. "The child is yours too. I believe that you'll be a good father. Meeting will just increase the sadness of parting. If we don't meet, everyone will be at peace. Everyone can be at peace." Gu Lingqing's eyes were bloodshot and he smiled bitterly. "I'm afraid you're the only one who can be at peace. I won't get a divorce. I'll contact you tomorrow." Gu Lingqing didn't force her anymore. The more he forced her, the further she pushed him away. He left her house. Baya closed the door, took a deep breath, and took another deep breath, trying to calm her irritable mood. She returned to her room and thought quietly. She finally understood why she would hypnotize herself back then. Gu Lingqing was too quiet. He didn't say anything and people couldn't guess what he was thinking. He was very irritated. When suppressed to a certain extent, anyone would explode. She closed her eyes and didn't turn on her phone to rest. He slept all the way until dawn. She looked at the time. It was 6:15 in the morning. She got up, brushed her teeth, washed up and went to the kitchen. She cooked the porridge first and went to the backyard to water the plants. When Xiaobai saw her, he immediately got up and ran to her side while wagging his tail. Baiya smiled and watered the plants. Xiaobai went over to bite the water and wet himself, which made Baiya laugh. After watering the plants, she fed Xiaobai dog food and went into the kitchen. She fried a poached egg, scooped some porridge, and turned on the television. She watched TV as she ate breakfast. She felt that her current situation was pretty good. Her state of mind was peaceful, and she could watch the falling flowers with a smile. Her mood wasn't up and down, and her life was easy and comfortable. Even if she didn't have love, she still had great love. She could do more things outside of love, and not just focus on him. People should be happier the longer they live, and not always live among evil creatures. After breakfast, she looked at the time. It was time to go grocery shopping. She opened the door and saw Gu Lingqing standing at the door. He looked at her face carefully and smiled. Morning. She saw that he was still wearing yesterday's clothes, and his hair was still damp from the morning. His eyes were dark and bloodshot. Did you stay here all night? Gu Lingqing didn't answer. Are you going out to buy groceries now? Baiya nodded. Gu Lingqing wanted to say something but stopped himself. I'll go with you. It's okay. Go back and have a good rest. You look really tired, Baiya said with a smile. She walked past him and headed towards her car. The way she treated him was no different from the way she treated her neighbor. Gu Lingqing held her hand and frowned. His heart hurt as though it was being cut by a knife. He couldn't breathe and his breathing became heavier. I'll accompany you, he said again. It was a statement, and it was sonorous and forceful. Baiya looked at his hand and looked at his handsome face calmly. I'm just accompanying you for a while. Why force it? I can explain everything, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. His eyes, which had always been resolute, became misty. He knew that she had made up her mind and pushed him out of her world. This was worse than killing him. The mist gathered. Gu Lingqing clenched his fists and looked at her deeply. Baiya thought of the scene when they were camping a few days ago. She felt warm in her heart and her gaze loosened a little. However, she didn't want to change her decision easily. Why would I leave you? Baiya asked. Gu Lingqing pursed his lips and didn't say a word. He was afraid that if he said it, he would really be out of the game. So he chose to lie. You thought I was dead. Baiya lowered her eyes. Her heart ached. She didn't like this feeling. I'm going to the master's class today. I'll give you a final answer tomorrow, okay? Baiya said calmly. Don't go, Gu Lingqing requested. He was angry yesterday. Firstly, Baiya was chatting happily with other men and didn't care about him. He was jealous. Secondly, he felt that the master wanted to make her become a monk. That was why he was unhappy. In the end, he took the woman away because he was worried that the woman was pretending and would harm Baiya. However, he had always been a man of action and not a man of words. He hated himself for being like this, because he had hurt her again and again. Baiya stared at him. She saw fear in his eyes. The biggest weakness of a woman was being soft-hearted. Because of being soft-hearted, they would forgive mistakes. Because of being soft-hearted, they would forgive hurt. Because of being soft-hearted, they would force themselves. Because of being soft-hearted, they would muddle along. I want to go. I think it's very useful to me. I'm sorry. I don't know what kind of woman I used to be to make you like me. However, I don't have my past memories. I'm a very selfish woman now. I just want to live for myself. I want to do what I want to do. I want to make friends that I want to make. I want to follow my heart. Gu Lingqing let go of his hand and slumped his shoulders. Baiya walked past him and got into her car. She started the car and left. Gu Lingqing looked at her car sadly. Baiya looked at him in the rearview mirror. When she met his affectionate gaze, her heart suddenly ached. She stopped the car by the side of the road. She covered her heart to cushion the pain. Gu Lingqing saw her stop the car and ran over worriedly. He opened the car door and asked anxiously, "What's wrong? Are you feeling unwell?" Baya looked at Gu Lingqing. She saw his concern, fear, and nervousness. "I'll send you to the hospital." Gu Lingqing hugged her waist and wanted to carry her. Baya held his arm. "I'm fine. Are you really okay?" Gu Lingqing looked at her face in disbelief. "I'm fine," Baya said with certainty. Gu Lingqing let go of his hand. "It's good that you're fine. I'll leave then," Baya said and went to close the door. "If you're not feeling well, remember to tell me," Gu Lingqing reminded her. Baya replied casually. Gu Lingqing helped her close the door. Baya looked at him and drove away. When she came back after buying groceries, she saw Gu Lingqing still standing at the door of her house. He looked at her as she got out of the car. "You didn't sleep last night. Aren't you tired?" Baya asked. He knew that he would be eliminated soon. After being eliminated, he had not thought about his future life. He just wanted to see her when he could see her again. Chapter 799. His gaze made her feel sad and uncomfortable. However, since ancient times, it had always been easy to fall in love but difficult to get along. No matter how much a couple loved each other, they would forget how to love each other deeply. They would be burdened by daily necessities and the trivial matters of life. She had seen too much. Perhaps Baya had always been self-abased, timid, and fearful. Hence, when she encountered a problem, she would not face it but escape. She was that kind of person. You should go back and rest. Your health is the most important," Baya said gently. Gu Lingqing looked at her quietly. She did not say anything or move. She did not try to persuade her anymore. After putting the vegetables into the fridge, she called Zhang Luoyue's mother. "Luoyue has been in a good state of mind recently. He's in the middle of composing. I'll call Dr. Bai if I need anything," Zhang Luoyue's mother said. Baya was relieved. "Okay." She contacted Master Gufa and went to the hotel where he was having a talk. When she went out, Gu Lingqing was still there. She was a little annoyed. "You're already in your 30s. Why are you still like a child? What's the use of you standing at my door?" Gu Lingqing looked at her deeply. Her heart was sour and bitter. She was not good with words. She had thousands of things to say but she could not say them. "Do whatever you want," Baya said helplessly. Then, she drove away. When she arrived, Master Gufa and the rest were already preaching. She heard the Reverend Gu Fa say, "Because of love there is sorrow, because of love there is fear, if separated from love, there is no sorrow nor fear. Because of love there is resentment, because of love there is regret, if separated from love, there is no resentment nor regret. Because of love there is sorrow, because of love there is pity, if separated from love, there is no sorrow nor pity. Because of love there is pain, because of love there is fear. If separated from love, there is no pain nor fear." Isn't a person without love a cold person, a walking corpse? What about it? Great love? The old man asked. There are 8 types of sufferings in the world: birth, aging, sickness and death, love, hate, and not being able to ask for what you want. The 5 yin are flourishing. Everything is born from the heart, and the heart gives birth to thoughts. Thoughts are impermanent when they are calm. Understanding is like a celestial being. When one is calm, one can observe all living things. When one is old, one can receive all living things. Only after experiencing pain can one feel joy. How can an ancient master feel joy when he doesn't feel pain? A woman asked. No desires, no demands, tranquil and brilliant, jumping out of the world of mortals, able to observe all things. There is no sorrow, no pain, yet one can sense the world. Great Master Gufa said. Baya's mood calmed down. Every time she listened to the ancient master speak, she would feel more comfortable. It was as if she was looking at a glowing Sarira, the spring breeze brushing past her cheeks, and the natural air between her nostrils could make her feel peaceful and serene. Someone sat down beside him. His aura was too strong. Baya's heart was pounding as she looked to the side. Gu Lingqing glanced at her and didn't say anything. She looked at Master Gufa. Master Gufa also looked at Gu Lingqing. He nodded, smiled, and continued to discuss the Tao. If you become a monk, I will accompany you. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Baya glanced at him. Maybe it was because she loved him too much that she felt worry, fear, resentment, regret, sorrow, pity, pain, and fear. These 8 types of emotions appeared at the same time. After leaving him, she would return to her previous calmness. But if she wanted calmness, why would she agree to be with him? What exactly did she want? Master Gufa, there is something I don't understand. Deities can get married, so why can't Buddhas? A girl asked. Master Gufa laughed. It isn't that Buddhas can't get married, but they have seen through it, so they don't want to. As for deities, they were originally made up by the people of the world. They have a mysterious color to them. They are people's hopes for longevity, desire, and magic. Can people really enter the cycle and be reborn? The girl asked again. We don't know about the world after death. Maybe it really is possible. Now, many scientists are researching that after death, people will become lighter. What is lighter might be the soul. Maybe in the future, science and exploration will tell us the answer. Now, I just want to carry my faith and walk on, Master Gufa replied. The truth is often not important. What is important is what you believe in. I remember when I was young, I watched The Legend of the Condor Heroes. Someone said that Yang Kong didn't actually die. After he was buried, the soil absorbed the poison in his body and he came back to life. I always believed in it and even spread it everywhere, Baya said softly. Maybe Master Gufa's ears were sharp. He heard what Baya said. He looked at Baya and smiled. Baya smiled back. Gu Lingqing's gaze turned cold. He knew that he was jealous. He didn't like it when Baya smiled with other men, even if it was a monk. Maybe he pretended to be a monk and after he achieved his goal, he returned to normal life. They chatted for 4 hours. Baya listened patiently and realized that cultivating one's mind was similar to psychology. For example, when a person was hurt in love, Buddha said, let it go and you'll be free. You can go and do things of great love and forget about small things. For psychology students, when a person was hurt in love, what they had to do was to convince the person to let it go and do things that were more meaningful. Hence, whether it was cultivating Buddhism or looking for a psychologist, it was all for the sake of peace and tranquility. They wanted to not feel pain and live a happy life. They could smile at everything. As long as their state of mind was at peace, it didn't matter whether they let it go or not. She looked at Gu Lingqing. Lingqing, I'm hungry. Let's go home and have hot pot. I have a lot of ingredients in my fridge. Gu Lingqing looked at Baya in surprise. Baya smiled. Let's go. She stood up. Master Gufa walked in front of her. Almsgiver Bai, can we speak in private? Gu Lingqing instinctively stood in front of Baya. He was very guarded. All right. Baya agreed readily. She turned to look at Gu Lingqing. You drove here too, right? Go back and wait for me. I'll be back in a while. Gu Lingqing frowned. Baya stroked his brows. I don't like it when you frown. Go back and wait for me. I'll wait for you, Gu Lingqing replied. Baya followed Master Gufa to the room next door. What do you think? I think that in ancient times, there weren't any psychologists. People would go to the temple if they were in pain. At that time, the temple became a place for men and women to solve their problems. One's appearance comes from the heart. With the guidance of Buddha, they would know how to let go of the pain in their hearts. So, this is how Buddha delivers salvation. What do you think? Baya asked. This is a new idea. This is the first time I've heard someone say this to me. I feel comfortable talking to Master Gufa. Maybe you're my belief. Or maybe you're using your own method to enlighten me. I agree with many of your viewpoints, but there's one thing. I'm Qin Tang Tang. My novel has been made into a radio drama. Please follow my WeChat account. Jade Lake. Chapter 800. What? Master Gufa asked. Maybe it's because you grew up in the temple. You're very Buddha-like and your ability to comprehend things is also very high. But do you really want to live like this? After all, you haven't experienced love, friendship, and the busyness of life. Maybe, after experiencing all that, You'll be able to become a monk and not regret your life, Baya said softly. Master Gufa pondered and looked at Baya faintly. Have you comprehended love now? Just now, I looked at it from the perspective of someone involved. The more I put in, the more humble I become. I have to please him, approach him, and pester him. Right now, I love him less than he loves me. What's there for me to complain about? I was resentful, painful, sad, and timid before because I love him. Since I love him, why don't we overcome the difficulties together? What happens after we overcome the difficulties? Master Gufa asked. Baya smiled slightly. You will enter a simple life of tea, rice, oil, and salt. With a peaceful heart, you can still laugh and watch the flowers fall in the garden, right? Moreover, with someone to practice with, you will be more determined. Your comprehension is more thorough than mine. Cultivating together is better than cultivating alone, but it is also more difficult. It is also more difficult to grasp the degree of mastery. If we can cultivate together, then our lives really won't be in vain. Grandmaster Gufa laughed. I think I'll do my best in the future. Maybe I'm not done yet. It's too miserable for me to be alone, Baya said. You can tell me if you need anything in the future. I'll definitely be there, Master Gufa promised. Thank you, Master. I should thank you for opening a new path for me. That's good. Then I'll go back first, Baya said. Master Gufa nodded and saw her off. Baya walked to the door and saw Gu Lingqing's car was still there. It was good if he could keep her company. She walked towards his car. When he saw her come out, he immediately got out of the car and looked at her worriedly. You've been with me for the past few days, but you were no longer with me when I woke up. That's why I'm angry and annoyed. Plus, you're not cold to me, so I don't want you anymore. You don't have to accompany me, but you have to let me know that the feeling of hesitation and ignorance is very uncomfortable. Can you do that? Asked Baya. Gu Lingqing nodded. No, I wasn't cold to you. Do you think I learned psychology for nothing? I'm just jealous. Gu Lingqing's face was unusually red. Baya pursed her lips and raised her chin. You're jealous of a monk. Do you want it? Let's go home and have hot pot. Get in your car. Huh. Gu Lingqing was pleasantly surprised. He thought that she had made up her mind after talking to Master Gufa. A smile appeared on his face. When Gu Lingqing smiled, he was really good-looking. It was like a celestial being. Baya smiled as well. Previously, she pretended to be indifferent. Now that she looked calm, she still felt uncomfortable in her heart. Letting go did not mean letting go of her feelings. It also meant letting go of her obsession. She was tolerant, open-minded, and did not fuss about it. Her state of mind could still be at peace. Moreover, when she was with someone she loved, the calmness and ease after letting go was doubled. When they reached home, they were greeted by Xiao Bai's barking. I'm going to find a wife for Xiao Bai. What do you think? Asked Baya as she unbuckled her seatbelt and got out of the car. Let's find one here when we get back. I'm afraid that they don't speak the same language. It'll be very troublesome, said Gu Lingqing seriously. Pfft. Baya was amused by him. Give me the car keys later. I'll get someone to drive your car back, said Gu Lingqing. Is that Zhang Xingyu still following me? Asked Baya curiously. Gu Lingqing nodded. I can't let you be in any danger. If you don't like him, he doesn't have to report anything to me in the future. You can just report to me when you're in danger. Is that okay? Baya nodded. He probably hasn't eaten yet. Ask him to join us for hot pot. In the future, we can let him stay at home. It's not good for him to be exposed outside. Almost all the people from the dark shadows are here. You don't have to worry, explained Gu Lingqing. She didn't remember the dark shadows. Go and feed Xiao Bai. I'll go and prepare the dishes, said Baya as she entered the kitchen. Gu Lingqing went to feed Xiao Bai. Her preparation was simple. She prepared the meatballs that she made previously. As she cooked them, she washed all the vegetables. Gu Lingqing came in, washed his hands and looked at her. Do you want to catch a fish? We won't be eating fish for lunch. It takes some time to process it. You didn't sleep last night. Go and rest after eating. Your health is your capital. Don't do this again, said Baya. However, She also realized that Gu Lingqing was very stubborn and wouldn't listen to her. If he wasn't guarding her, she might not have changed her mind. Therefore, people were contradictory. She was no exception. She hoped that he would like her and her heart ached for him. Because of her heart ached for him, she realized that she liked him. There was a knock on the door. Baya looked at the door in surprise. Who is it? It should be Zhang Xingyu. I called him here, explained Gu Lingqing as he went to open the door. General. Zhang Xingyu handed over the key respectfully. Come in for lunch, said Gu Lingqing in a deep voice. Baya saw Zhang Xingyu. This person had no memory at all. Zhang Xingyu saw Baya too. His eyes were flickering. He didn't dare to open his eyes to look at Baya. Did you do anything to me? Baya asked. No. Of course not. How would I dare to? Zhang Xingyu said immediately and lowered his head. Even if you did something to me, you still felt guilty when you saw me. It means that you're not a bad person. So I forgive you, said Baya. Really? Zhang Xingyu was surprised. Baya smiled. So, you did something wrong to me. Zhang Xingyu knew that he had fallen into a trap. He looked at Gu Lingqing. Back then, he relied on Xing Buhua and felt guilty towards you. But he came back to me, explained Gu Lingqing. Baya nodded. Since you've forgiven him, I can't say anything else. Let's eat. I've prepared some noodles. If you're not full, you can eat them. Let me help you. Gu Lingqing went into the kitchen and helped Baya bring out the pot. Other than vegetables, Baya also prepared lamb rolls and beef rolls. They were frozen in the fridge. Zhang Xingyu licked his lips in hunger. I haven't had hot pot since I came to Seattle. I miss it a little. I especially miss the hot pot that Madam prepared for Chinese New Year 2 years ago. That meal was so satisfying. Eat more then, said Baya. She took their bowls and sat down. Zhang Xingyu waited for Gu Lingqing to start eating before he started eating. Were you there when we went camping the day before yesterday? Asked Baya. Her face was red. No, the chief told us not to follow you, said Zhang Xingyu. Oh. Baya breathed a sigh of relief. After all, they did that in the wild. It would be embarrassing if they were heard. I am Qin Tang. My novel has been made into a radio drama. Please follow me on WeChat. Jade Lake. Chapter 801. Gu Lingqing glanced at Baya. She prepared some lamb for Baya and placed it on her plate. After dinner, Baya let Gu Lingqing sleep while he let her accompany him. When they got onto the bed, he hugged her waist and fell asleep in a short while. Baya laid on the bed and counted. All the other patients had been treated. There was only one girl who had fallen out of love the next afternoon. She got up. Her waist tightened. Gu Lingqing opened her eyes and asked in a deep voice, Where are you going? I'm not going anywhere. I'll just stay at home. You can sleep for a while more, Baya said. Gu Lingqing sat up. Then I won't sleep. I'll wait for a while. It'll be nighttime and I can sleep at night. I'm not going out. You can sleep. I'll wake you up, Baya said. She looked at him expectantly. Gu Lingqing nodded. Baya went out and called her assistant. Ask the girl who wants to be hypnotized. Does she still want to be hypnotized? Okay, the assistant replied and hung up. Baya went to the backyard and played with Little White for a while. She took a cushion and sat in the shade of the backyard. She smelled the flowers and felt the breeze. She enjoyed the beauty of nature. She was in deep thought. Her phone rang. She saw that it was the assistant and picked it up. Dr. Bai, the girl committed suicide, the assistant said. How could that be? Didn't you say that you wanted to hypnotize her? Baya asked in surprise. She had an argument with her family and was beaten by her father. In a fit of anger, she jumped out of the window, the assistant explained. Baya's eyes darkened. The girl was already on the verge of a mental breakdown. Her father's beating made her feel that she had lost her family. She had no family, no love, and no friends. Thinking about it, she didn't want to continue living. In addition, she was impulsive and lost her young life. Dr. Bai, there's no one on your schedule. Do you need me to book a few more patients for you? The assistant asked. Not at the moment. See if you want to book a few more, Baya said with a smile. Okay, the assistant replied and hung up. Baya called Su Chungha. Senior, when are you coming? Next Monday. I'm going through the procedures now, Su Chungha said. Well, I'll leave all the clinics in the United States to you for the time being. I want to come back, Baya said. Ah, you're going back to America? Chungha was shocked. Gu Lingqing and I are back together again. I'm back to face the problems left behind in the past. I have to solve the problems that should be solved and bear the responsibilities that should be borne. Have you recovered your memory? Su Chungha asked in surprise. No. Perhaps, after returning to the country, after coming into contact with more people and things, my subconscious mind will be stimulated and my memories will be restored. There's no hurry. Since I'm here, I'll just take things as they come. No. Baya. Baya Don Shan. Baya smiled. Yes. At Suya. Baya laughed. Don't. I need you to take care of my house and clinic. You just need to bring your wife and children over. You'll have a place to live and a job. I think I'm taking advantage of you. That's not all. I have a seafood restaurant for you to take care of. Just give me the money you earn. Baya smiled. There were few advantages in life. She didn't care about the effort or the returns. She just wanted to let nature take its course. You're my benefactor. I'll follow your lead in the future, Su Chungha said. Baya heard his child's voice. Daddy. Daddies. She smiled. Go and coax your child. I'll contact you when you're here. Baya hung up. The house and career were all settled. There was also Joan's job. She continued to sit on the lawn and meditate. Her thoughts drifted. She was a little tired, so she lay on the mat, closed her eyes and slept. She woke up with a blanket over her body and a hand on her waist. When she turned around, Gu Lingqing had unknowingly fallen asleep next to her. She turned around and looked at Gu Lingqing. He opened his eyes slowly. It was quite comfortable to lie like that. She didn't say anything. She continued to close her eyes and lay down to rest. Gu Lingqing didn't say anything either. He stared at her peaceful face. Baya lay for a while and couldn't fall asleep. She opened her eyes again and asked, "What time is it?" Gu Lingqing looked at the watch on his arm. "It's 17 o'clock. Ha! I've slept for so long." Baya sat up, flipped her messy hair, and looked at Gu Lingqing. "What are we eating tonight?" "Anything is fine." "How about steamed pork with preserved vegetables?" Baya asked. Gu Lingqing slightly raised the corner of his mouth. "Good. Xiaoya, I have something to do tonight. I might not come back." "What are you doing tonight?" Baya asked in confusion. Gu Lingqing looked at her deeply. Baya guessed that he had something he couldn't say. She smiled. "You don't have to tell me if it's inconvenient. Remember when I told you that I was shot in the back of my head and you thought I was dead?" Gu Lingqing said. Baya nodded. "I found the legendary research organization and asked them to operate on me. The condition is that I help them destroy solder," Gu Lingqing explained. "Solder? What's that?" Baya was confused. She had never heard of the name. "A mafia. They wanted to destroy the research organization, but many of them survived. They were afraid that solder would hunt them down, so they asked me to destroy them," Gu Lingqing explained. "Does solder know that you're the one who wants to destroy them?" Baya asked worriedly. "They don't know. I've always been masked. Solder has connections with the government, so they won't do anything." "If solder finds out that you're the one who did it, will it affect the country?" "No. The government also wants to destroy the organization, but they have something on solder. So, it's safest for me to do it. You asked people to protect me because you're worried that I'll be the first to suffer if your identity is exposed." Baya guessed. Gu Lingqing nodded. "Destroying solder is something you have to do, right?" Baya asked. Gu Lingqing nodded again. "Then go do it. Be careful. I don't want to see you get hurt." Gu Lingqing pressed the back of her head and kissed her lips. "I have you. I don't dare to let myself get hurt. After I woke up, I told myself that I'll live for you in the future. I'll focus on you and only think from your perspective. You have to keep your promise. Don't let anything happen to yourself. Gu Lingqing nodded seriously. I'll go cook. When are you leaving tonight? Baya asked. 10 o'clock. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Sleep well and don't worry about me. Otherwise, I'll be worried, Gu Lingqing said. He didn't want to tell her before because he didn't want her to worry and lose sleep. Now that he told her, he was still worried that she wouldn't be able to sleep well. I'm Qin Tang Tang. My novel has been made into a radio drama. Follow me on WeChat. Fairy Lake. Chapter 802. Baya smiled. I know. I'll have a good sleep and wait for you to come back. Okay. Baya went to the kitchen to prepare dinner while Gu Lingqing was having a meeting in the study. At first, there was no one around and it was peaceful. But suddenly, 8 people appeared. Including Zhang Xingyu. There were 9 of them in the study. She thought that they would have to eat too, so she had to cook more. She went to catch the biggest fish and made braised fish, braised pork with preserved vegetables, pork knuckles, and 3 delicacies soup. She thought that there were too many people and it might not be enough, so she made beef with pickled cabbage, beef tenderloin with green peppers, and eggs with tomatoes. She cooked more rice and made it into egg fried rice. When everything was ready, it was already 7:30 at night. Gu Lingqing was still having a meeting. She went upstairs and knocked on the door. Come in, Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. Baya paused for a moment. The voice seemed to fall on her heart, causing it to throb in circles. This scene was very familiar, and it felt very familiar. She pushed the door open and saw Gu Lingqing, who was standing in front of the crowd and talking about strategy. He was wearing a black suit. His eyes were cold and sharp, but when he looked at her, there was a layer of gentleness. You guys eat first. Even if you're going to do a mission, you need to eat to have the strength. We'll have the meeting after dinner, Baya said gently. Okay, Gu Lingqing replied and walked towards Baya. The others also stood up and walked outside. I've prepared dinner for you guys. Let's eat together, Baya said. The others looked at Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing nodded. The soldiers smiled and said, I haven't eaten Madam's cooking for a long time. I miss it. From what they said, Baya could tell that they had eaten her cooking before. I've made a lot of fried rice, Baya said. Wait a minute. Baya served a pot of fried rice. There's more if it's not enough. I've cooked more. It'll be good when the time comes. Thank you, madam, said Zhang Xingyu. They sat down and ate. Baya looked at the honest-looking soldiers and felt that this scene was familiar. After the meal, Gu Lingqing and the soldiers continued their meeting, while Baya went to the kitchen to wash the dishes and do some cleaning. At 10 o'clock, they left on time. Gu Lingqing turned around and glanced at Baya. She smiled and waved her hand. After they left, she habitually played elegant music, lit incense, practiced yoga, took a shower, went to bed, closed her eyes and slept. She knew that she should sleep, but logic often couldn't overcome her emotions. She was still worried about him, afraid that something would happen to him. Time ticked by. She kept her eyes closed, but she didn't fall asleep. Unable to fall asleep, she got up, opened the curtains, stood by the window, looked outside, and waited quietly. When the sky started to brighten, she looked at the time. It was already 5:05 in the morning, but Gu Lingqing hadn't come back yet. He didn't come back. Her heart was in knots. She waited until 6 in the morning. The sky was already bright, but Gu Lingqing still hadn't come back. She went to cook breakfast. She was going to make porridge with pork and century eggs, water the flowers, and feed Little White. The sun came out, but Gu Lingqing still hadn't come back. Her heart ached. Suddenly, she heard the sound of a car outside. She put down the hose in her hand and ran to the door. When she opened the door, Gu Lingqing stood at the door. The sun was behind him, as though it was giving him a golden glow. He smiled at her. Baya jumped into his arms and hugged him tightly. His body was very wet, and there was no sweat on him. His clothes smelled of smoke, gunpowder, and the morning sun. Gu Lingqing hugged her back, lowered his head, and kissed her on the forehead. Baya looked at Gu Lingqing. Did it go well? Very well. Solder was completely dismantled, Gu Lingqing said with a smile. Then, Have you paid off all the missions you owe? Baya asked with hope. Yes, Gu Lingqing replied, but 3 of my men were injured so I came back a bit late. Are they badly injured? Baya asked worriedly. They're not in danger anymore. They just need to rest for a month or 2. I've already arranged it. Did you watch it at the research center? Yes, on the surface, it's a research center for the brain, but it's actually one of my secret bases, Gu Lingqing explained. So Sauter was completely dismantled? Baya asked worriedly. Yes, they're all dismantled. There should be news in the morning. Their scandals will be reported. But to avoid trouble, I've blocked some content related to the government, Gu Lingqing explained. Baya nodded. Did your soldiers eat breakfast? They ate before they went back. They're resting in the base now. You ate too? Baya asked. Gu Lingqing shook his head. He knew that she would definitely prepare breakfast at home. He wanted to come back and eat with her. I made porridge with pork and century egg, Baya said with a smile. Gu Lingqing entered and asked, Did you sleep well last night? Baya paused. She didn't sleep at all. If she told him, he would be worried. If he encountered those things in the future, he wouldn't be able to carry out his mission properly. So, she chose a white lie. I was fine, but I woke up a bit early. Eat the porridge with pork and century egg and go to sleep. I'll go get some for you. Baya went into the kitchen and got 2 bowls of porridge. I've completed my mission here. I'll tell Cheong that we're leaving today. Do you have any more patients to see? Gu Lingqing asked. He was already preparing to go back to China. I've seen all the patients on my side. I won't take the other patients for the time being. My senior is coming over on Monday, so I'll hand over all the patients on hand to him. Under normal circumstances, we'll be able to go back on Tuesday. Also, tell your mother not to come over. Since we've decided to go back, it's very tiring to catch a flight, especially when we have a child with us. Okay. I'll call them when I wake up, Gu Lingqing said. Baya saw that he didn't sleep the night before and the night before. He only slept for a few hours in the afternoon, so she didn't say anything else. She would talk about it after he woke up. Gu Lingqing finished his breakfast and looked at Baya. He looked into her eyes and his gaze deepened. He could tell if she had slept well or not last night. In the future, I'll try not to go on a mission for the whole night. Sleep with me later, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Baya smiled. Okay. Before going to bed, Gu Lingqing was worried that Cheong would call Baya and disturb her sleep. He turned off her cell phone, turned off his own, and closed the curtains. Baya fell asleep as soon as she touched the bed. She would only feel at ease when he came back. I am Chin Tang Tang. My novel has been made into a radio drama. Please follow me on WeChat. Fairy Lake. Chapter 803. Baya woke up and opened her eyes. Gu Lingqing was not by her side. Her heart skipped a beat and she shouted, Gu Lingqing. I'm here, Gu Lingqing replied. He pushed the door open and looked at her. Baya smiled when she saw him. You only slept for a while? Not really. Gu Lingqing looked at his watch. It's almost 16 o'clock now. I woke up a little earlier than you. Ah. It's 16 o'clock. I slept for a long time. Baya smiled awkwardly and got up. She went to the bathroom to brush her teeth and combed her hair. When she came out, she saw Gu Lingqing giving her a bowl of red bean soup. Eat first. We'll go out to eat later. There's a movie on. Let's go watch it together, Gu Lingqing said. Baya took the red bean soup from him and took a sip. The red beans were soft and sweet. It was delicious. You cooked for a long time, right? I cooked it with a rice cooker. It didn't take much time. Gu Lingqing entered the kitchen and took a bowl for himself. Baya looked at him. He had always been calm and resolute. Silence was golden. But, wasn't life like this? They ate together and slept together. When he said that he was working, she listened patiently. When she was troubled, she could talk to him. Every day was ordinary. There was the company of her lover. There was food and drink. Wasn't this the life she had been pursuing? I read a book in the past. The book described that there was a place on Panglai Island that was heaven. There was a rock as big as a house. It could carry 100 people in the vast sky. There were also winged fish that could carry 1,000 people in the sea. The people there lived and worked in peace. They could taste the world's delicacies and do things that were blissful. It was warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Is it a fairy tale? Gu Lingqing asked cooperatively. We are the people who lived in this heaven. It was a place that many people in ancient times envied. The rock refers to planes and the winged fish refers to submarines, Baya explained. Gu Lingqing nodded. Baya held his hand. I'm not a parasite in your stomach. I can't read your mind. I'm your wife. I'm the one who will live with you for the rest of my life. We'll have to rely on each other even when we die. You must tell me if you need anything. I'll tell you if I need anything, Gu Lingqing promised. Baya smiled. While getting love, she could also feel at peace, and she would feel like she had the whole world. After eating, she went upstairs to get her phone. When she turned it on, many calls came in. Some were from the clinic, some were from unknown numbers, and some were from the police station. She called the assistant at the clinic first. Dr. Bai, the patient you treated before came to thank you, but you weren't here, the assistant said. Bai, the assistant said. I tried to see the patients today and I came. And said. I tried to treat the patient today. It seems that the effect is not bad. If I don't understand, I will ask you again, the assistant said happily. Since you've started seeing patients, it's time to find an assistant for the clinic. Go and arrange it. Yes, thank you, Dr. Bai. Baya hung up the phone and called an unfamiliar number back. Hello, I'm Baya. Who is this? Hello, Dr. Bai. I was introduced by Mr. Chen Bin. My surname is Jiang, the doctor said politely. Chen Bin was one of her former patients. He mentioned Chen Bin's name. Baya guessed that he was there to seek medical advice. As expected, the other party asked, I would like to consult you about some matters. I'm sorry, it's like this. I won't be seeing patients for the time being. You should be from a country, right? I'll be going back to a country in a few days, Baya said. That's great. I'm going back to country as soon. Can I make an appointment then? Mr. Jiang said. I will contact you after I return to China. I still have something to do here. I will hang up first. Baya hung up the phone. After she returned to China, she would still become a psychiatrist. However, Gu Lingqing might arrange for her to work in the military. If she worked in the military, it would be inappropriate for her to receive patients from outside. However, Mr. Jiang was introduced by her former patient. If she didn't see him, she would probably refer him to someone else. In the end, she called the police station back. Baya, you finally picked up the phone, Shen complained. Our people bumped into the murderer, and the two of them almost collided. After they got out of the car, the murderer was polite. He apologized to us and gave us a good impression, but they didn't even exchange phone numbers. What should we do next? It's normal that they didn't exchange phone numbers. We didn't find the same phone number in the previous victim's phones, Baya said. Then how will they contact each other next time? Didn't he like our people? Since he didn't exchange phone numbers with the previous victims, how will they contact each other again? Did we lock on to the wrong suspect? Shen was confused. Gu Lingqing looked at Baya and said in a deep voice, the murderer has a high EQ and is very vigilant. He doesn't leave his phone number. He will follow his prey for a long time and make sure it's safe before he makes his move. He will create many coincidental encounters. Let AI Wei check if the murderer is following us, Baya reminded immediately. That's bad. Our people followed him back to the police station this afternoon. If he is following us, it means that the murderer already knows that our people are police officers. What should we do? Shen was worried. Let AI Wei check first. If it's confirmed that the murderer is following us, then our people will be exposed. The murderer will be alerted and won't do anything for a while. We're doomed, Shen said dejectedly. Not necessarily. We can let AI Wei track his whereabouts for 24 hours. Maybe he has a prey now. As long as we find out who his prey is, we can follow him further. It's more reliable than sending our people. That's the only thing we can do. Shen hung up. Baya sighed. I'm afraid this case won't be solved in a short time. It's similar to the previous case. We need to find the next time they commit the crime. I've already told Cheong that we're going to launch 11. The cases on hand are all waiting. There's no hurry. We can travel around before we go back. Can we go to Country D? I want to see Lu Shuang before I go back, Baya said. Gu Lingqing nodded. I can go with you tomorrow. Thinking that she might see Lu Shuang tomorrow, Baya became nervous. How was she doing now? If she was still waiting for Shen Yen, she would definitely save Shen Yen when she returned to Country A. She didn't have many friends, so she cherished them. I am Qin Tang Tang. My novel has been made into a radio drama. Please follow me on WeChat. Jade Lake. Chapter 804. The days of leisure and companionship passed by quickly. In the blink of an eye, it was Monday. Bai Ya and Gu Lingqing went to the airport to pick up Su Changhe and his wife. Their plane was not delayed and arrived in Seattle as usual. Su Changhe came out with 2 suitcases, a big backpack and a big bag. His wife came out with the child. Bai Ya waved. Su Changhe smiled and saw Gu Lingqing beside Bai Ya. He was stunned. He and Gu Lingqing had not seen each other for a few years. Back then, it was just a glimpse. Now, Gu Lingqing was still breathtakingly handsome. Moreover, time had been kind to this man. It seemed that he did not age even if his appearance did not change. He went forward and greeted Gu Lingqing. Hello. Gu Lingqing responded in a cold and callous manner. Student. Get in the car first. Let's go eat first, Bai Ya said and took the suitcase from Su Changhe. Gu Lingqing felt sorry for Bai Ya and took the suitcase from Bai Ya. Su Changhe's hands were empty. He helped his wife push the car and said, Jiao Jiao is still jet-lagged and has a headache. Let her sleep for a while. Okay, let's go back first and put the luggage away, Bai Ya said. Gu Lingqing drove. Su Changhe's wife had a headache. She leaned against the chair and rested. Bai Ya helped Su Changhe carry the child. His child was 2 years old and could talk. He was a little big and a little shy, but he always kept a little secret and was very cute. Call me Auntie, Bai Ya said. Auntie has delicious candy here. Auntie, the little boy shouted. Bai Ya had already prepared a gift for the child. She took out a lollipop and gave it to the little boy. He loves candy. He can't help but want to eat it, Su Changhe said helplessly. This candy is made from milk powder. It's not very sweet. Children can eat it to supplement their calcium, Bai Ya explained. Su Changhe glanced at the child. The child held the candy in his mouth and ate happily. You're still the most attentive. After Jiao Jiao goes to sleep, I'll bring you to your future restaurant. Business should be good at night. At present, it's already in a stable state of profitability. You don't have to worry too much about it. There's a person in charge. You just have to check the accounts at the end of the month and see how much profit we've made. If it's a lot, give the employees a red packet. They'll be happy too, Bai Ya said. I'll help you look after the restaurant. I'll send you all the profits, Su Changhe said. There's no need. You know I'm not short of money. I need you to take good care of my house. The key is my flowers and plants, Bai Ya said. No problem, Jiao Jiao likes to grow flowers and plants. There's a psychiatrist and a newly hired assistant at the clinic. This assistant also graduated from psychology and is from Country A. You can handle the rest. Senior psychological skills are better than mine. You should be able to do better than me, Bai Ya said. How can I be better than you? Your hypnosis skills are the best in the industry. I'm still far from you. Moreover, this aspect relies on reputation. The better the reputation, the more the patient trusts. The more trust the patient has, the higher the possibility of treatment. I'll do my best. There are many psychiatrists in America. It's different from Country A. In Country A, if you go to see a psychiatrist, many people will think that the person is crazy. So, to prevent others from talking about it, many people don't go to see a psychiatrist even if they have psychological problems. Nowadays, the pace of life in many cities in Country A is very fast. All kinds of psychological problems have appeared, especially among people in the 80s and 90s. Moreover, they are more open-minded. Many people will come for counseling. But it's different from America. In America, people need the help of a psychiatrist when they break up. In America, unless they have serious depression, they won't come for help, Su Chongha sighed. So, you should do well in America. As for the fame, you just need to create hype. I'll write you a recommendation letter before I leave and find a few friends in the media to help you promote it. Then, there won't be a problem. Bye. I'll remember your kindness. If you need help in the future, just come to me. I'll go through fire and water for you, Su Chongha said righteously. Baya smiled. Okay. While they were talking, they arrived home. Su Chongha woke Su Jiao up. Gu Lingqing helped carry the luggage. Baya carried the child and told them which room to sleep in. They put the luggage in a simple place. Su Chongha's wife took the bed and went to sleep first. Su Chongha went out. Is she okay? Baya asked. She's still jet-lagged. Her head hurts. She'll sleep for a while and buy some bread when she comes back. Su Chongha closed the door. Okay, there's water in the fridge. Put it by her bed. She can drink it if she wants, Baya reminded him. Okay, but wait for me. I'll make some milk powder for the baby. Baya looked at the way Su Chongha made milk powder. The image of Gu Lingqing making milk powder flashed in her mind. When I'm not here, do you take care of our child like this? Baya asked Gu Lingqing. I don't take care of Shosho for a long time. Mom takes care of him and the little girl you left behind. Fortunately, the little girl helps to take care of the child. Otherwise, Mom might be too busy. After all, Mom has to look after the company, Gu Lingqing explained. Little girl. Baya didn't have such a person in her mind. She couldn't remember at all. She has been helping us take care of the child in the base. She has been helping to take care of Shosho since he was born. She studied medicine and helped to take care of him. She takes good care of him. Baya nodded. She still couldn't remember, but she was not in a hurry. When she returned to China, she would see it. Su Chongha made milk for the child. He tested the temperature and handed it to the child. His child was very obedient. He held the milk and drank it with a jijidoo sound. Su Chongha put the child in the cart and said to Baya, "Let's go." Baya took Su Chongha to the seafood restaurant. The child fell asleep while drinking the milk. Fortunately, he brought the cart, and the child slept in the cart. Su Chongha covered the child with a blanket. They chatted while eating. Baya, do you want to recover your memory? Su Chongha asked. Well. Baya thought about it seriously. I think my life now is very good. I don't have the memory of the past. I have Gu Lingqing to remind me. If I recover, there are also benefits. I won't be unfamiliar with everyone. After all, it's also my past experience. It's a pity to lose it. Let nature take its course. Maybe one day I will remember it. Su Chongha wanted to say something but stopped. What's wrong? Do you have something to say to me? Baya saw the clue. Su Chongha smiled slightly. Seeing that they were so happy now, he chose to hide it. Just like what Baya said, let nature take its course. I am Qin Tang Tang. My novel has been adapted into a radio drama. Please follow my WeChat account. Fairy Lake. Chapter 805. When are you going to hold the wedding? Su Chongha asked. Baya looked at Gu Lingqing in surprise. We haven't held the wedding yet? Gu Lingqing held her hand tightly in his. Something happened to me before the wedding, so I only got the marriage certificate and didn't hold the wedding. When I go back this time, I'm going to have a good wedding. Baya looked at him suspiciously. What's wrong? Gu Lingqing asked. Our child is already so old, but we haven't held the wedding yet? I didn't know we had a child before. Our child was taken away and placed in someone else's house, Gu Lingqing explained. Baya recalled that he seemed to have mentioned that their eldest son was with his adoptive parents. At that time, she was wondering why their eldest son would be with his adoptive parents. It turned out that he was taken away. Fortunately, he was found. The meal ended in a pleasant atmosphere. The next day, Baya brought Su Chongha to the clinic and briefed him. She was going to leave the clinic to Su Changha. An assistant who had been following her around was reluctant to part with her and was in low spirits. Baya treated them to lunch. Firstly, it was a farewell. Secondly, it was to let Su Changha get to know them better. Dr. Bai, when are you leaving? The assistant who had been following Baya asked. Tomorrow, Baya said. So soon? The assistant was shocked. She looked at Baya pitifully and was reluctant to part with her. You can call me when there's internet and video in the future. Also, Su Changha is my senior. When I was studying psychology, I asked him about things I didn't understand. He knows more than me, Baya said with a smile. She felt a little melancholy in her heart. Parting was always sad. Leaving meant that it would be difficult to see each other again. She suddenly understood why the ancients were so afraid of parting. At that time, they didn't have mobile phones, planes, or cars. The most convenient means of transportation was carriages. It was so far from one place to another. After they separated, it was difficult to see each other again. Even letters might not reach each other. Su Changha was the one who sent her home after she drank. When she got home, she was a little drunk and collapsed on the sofa. Gu Lingqing was worried. She immediately went to the kitchen to make some honey water and handed it to her. She was distressed and scolded. Why did you drink so much wine? I'm a little sad, said Baya softly. Why are you sad? Gu Lingqing was more worried, afraid that she was in a bad mood. Baya drank the honey water in the cup in one gulp and put the cup on the tea table. Thinking of parting, some people will never see each other again. Even if they do, it will be a long time later. Gu Lingqing stared at her. Baya had always been cold. She rarely gave her feelings. That was because she valued relationships too much. It was easy to be a burden to herself. She simply did not accept others. When she left, she would not be so sad. Those people were just her colleagues. They had only been together for half a year, and she was already sad. His departure was a big blow to her. It was so big that she could not bear it. So, she chose to hypnotize herself. Otherwise, she would feel sad when she woke up. She would feel sad when she fell asleep. Sooner or later, her spirit would collapse. I will not leave you again, nor will I do anything dangerous. I will always be by your side and not let you worry. Gu Lingqing promised. She felt sad. She hugged him and tears flowed out. She knew herself a little. She could not even let go of her colleagues. It was impossible for her to give up her child. Unless, she could not bear a greater pain. However, she did not want to think about it. The more she thought about it, the more afraid she would be. She would rather accept her happy life now. After she finished crying, she was tired and went back to her room to sleep. Gu Lingqing packed up his luggage. Baya did not have a lot of clothes. He had even less clothes. 2 simple suitcases were all packed. She was still asleep. Because of the alcohol, her cheeks were red. He lay down next to her and slept for a while too. After some time, he noticed movement beside him and opened his eyes. Baya woke up. She flipped her hair embarrassedly. I slept for a long time. It's good to sleep more. When we go back tomorrow, we will have jet lag. It's easy to get a headache if you sleep less. Baya smiled. Then I will get drunk before boarding the plane. I will sleep once I get on the plane. I will sleep until we get off the plane. Anyway, you are here. Gu Lingqing replied dotingly. At night, they had their last dinner with Su Changha and his wife. The next day, Baya and Gu Lingqing were leaving. Su Changha drove them in Baya's car. Thinking about going back to country A, Baya was excited and nervous. She was excited because she could see her child again. She was nervous because she had forgotten a lot of things. On the way, Gu Lingqing took good care of her. Baya tried her best to sleep. She slept so that she wouldn't get a headache. Gu Lingqing had a good physique. He didn't sleep much and took care of her. When the plane arrived in country A, someone drove a limousine over to pick up Gu Lingqing. Baya slept for a long time. She still had a headache. She got into the limousine and closed her eyes to sleep. After driving for more than an hour, the car stopped. Someone came over to check. Chief, the soldiers greeted respectfully. Baya heard the voice and opened her eyes. When the soldiers saw that it was Baya, They smiled happily. Madam, you are finally back. Baya smiled. They seemed to be very friendly to her and happy to see her. The car continued to drive. Baya looked out of the window. She saw many fruit trees. Behind the fruit trees was a huge lake. The surface of the lake reflected the sunlight, and the ripples sparkled. An image of her fishing by the lake flashed through her memory. There was a tent and a table. There was a stove beside the table. There was water boiling on the stove and the water was steaming. It was winter. She felt a little bitter in her heart. She smiled. I should be fishing by this lake often. Yeah, Gu Lingqing replied. The car stopped. Gu Lingqing got off first. When Baya was about to get off, he carried Baya out of the car. Baya felt embarrassed. She saw some people at the door and looked over. There was a kind-looking old man and 2 young girls. Madam, you are back, one of the girls said. There were tears in her eyes and her voice was choked. She is Lin Shulon. She has been with you for a long time. She is my mother's goddaughter now, Gu Lingqing explained. The girl beside her was calmer. She greeted, Madam, you are back. Xiao Xia. She takes care of Shosho, Gu Lingqing said. Speaking of Shosho, Baya didn't see any children. She felt her shirt being pulled. She looked down. A pink and tender little boy smiled and said in a muffled voice, Little sister, you're a little girl. Mimi, Mimi, hug. I am Qin Tang Tang. My novel has been adapted into a radio drama. Please follow my WeChat account. Follow Yao Qi. You can listen to it. Chapter 806. Baya looked at him and her heart melted. She had always liked children, so she picked up Shosho. Shosho tilted his head and looked at Baya. His eyes were round and he had both her and Gu Lingqing's good points in them. He was very good-looking. Shosho, call me Mommy, Gu Lingqing said. Mommy, beautiful, beautiful, Shosho said and pinched Baya's face. Baya liked it and pretended to bite Shosho's hand. Shosho wasn't afraid. He looked at Baya kissing his hand and smiled adorably. Come in, it's a little cold outside, Song Shiyu said gently. Thank you, Mom, Baya said politely. Song Shiyu looked at Baya and tears welled up in her eyes. It's nothing. It's good that you're back. It's good that you're back. Song Shiyu turned around and wiped her tears. Her eyes were red. Baya followed them into the living room. There was a child in the living room. He looked at Baya coldly. His eyes were arrogant and murderous. Baya could clearly see hatred and disgust in his eyes. Who is this child? Baya asked Gu Lingqing suspiciously. Gu Lingqing looked worried and looked at Baya. Xiao Xian, Zhou Hailan and my child. Baya looked at Gu Lingqing in surprise. There was a strange feeling in her heart. It was hard to be a stepmother. She frowned when she saw the murderous look in the child's eyes. Song Shiyu was worried that Baya would misunderstand. She immediately explained, they didn't have this child normally. Zhou Hailan got Lingqing's sperm. She and Lingqing didn't have sex. Baya looked at Xiao Xin and said with certainty, You hate me. You're the one who killed my mother, Xiaoxing complained. Xiao Xian, she didn't kill your mother. Your mother is still alive. Even without her, I wouldn't be with your mother. Besides, your mother's crime is unforgivable. It's good enough that she's still alive, Gu Lingqing said sternly. Look, you're biased towards her. I hate her, I hate you all, Xiao Xian shouted. Baya smiled. Xiao Xia, carry Shosho into the room to play. Baya passes Shosho to Xiao Xia. Xiao Xia immediately brought Shosho to the room. Do you like your grandma? Baya asked Xiao Xian. Xiao Xian looks at the kind Song Shiyu and lowers her head. Baya looks at Gu Lingqing. Can we move out? Why do we have to move out? Isn't this place good? Song Shiyu said gently, her voice full of concern. A long time ago, I read a story that goes something like this. The main character's aunt is a very kind and caring person. She bought a house in the city. Every time the villagers and relatives come to the city, they would stay at her house. She would also treat them warmly. After a few decades, the aunt's children grew up, got married and had children. The house became crowded. However, The villagers still go to her house. Sometimes, the aunt would reject them. Once she rejects them, they would say bad things about her behind her back. They said that the aunt has no conscience, that the aunt has no love, that the aunt is treacherous, that the aunt looks down on the villagers, that the aunt is arrogant, and so on and so forth. All the words they hear are negative. If a person is kind for a long time, if they are not kind once, they will be evil in the eyes of others. If a person is not kind for a long time, if they are kind once in a while, they will think that the person is not bad in the eyes of others. Xiao Xian. Baya looks at Xiao Xian. This child hates me to the core. Moreover, he is very paranoid. If I stay here, we will definitely have a conflict. If I handle the conflict, it might make him feel wronged. The adults will feel reluctant to part with this child and think that I don't have the magnanimity of an adult. If I don't handle it and let you handle it, you will feel annoyed and hurt. Secondly, I will be hurt. If you help him, in my eyes, you will be helping the wicked to do evil. I will also feel wronged, sad and sad. If you help me, then this child will be sad, sad and wronged. He will want to take revenge even more. Living together for a long time will cause conflict. I can't change the fact that he is Gu Lingqing's child. You have the responsibility to raise him. So, I will try my best to choose a way that will not cause conflict. No, Xiao Xian is a sensible child. As long as you treat him well, he will be grateful, Song Shiyu says pitifully. Baya smiles faintly. Do you think he is a sensible child now? At work, some people think that the boss is good and some think that the boss is bad. That is because the boss treats the employees differently. If the boss treats some employees well, some employees will be grateful and work hard. If the boss treats some employees badly, the employees will naturally complain and even want to leave. The logic is the same. If you treat Xiao Xian well, Xiao Xian will know that you are his grandmother. There is no hatred between the two of you. Naturally, if you think that he is good, he will think that you are good. But to Xiao Xian, I'm his mother's rival in love. Because of me, he doesn't have a mother and can't be with his parents like other kids. This is the reason why he hates me, and it won't change. I understand his hatred, just like how I hated Xing Bachuan's wife, Chong Ruyan. No matter how kind and nice I am to Xiao Xian, he will think that I am putting on an act in front of his father with bad intentions. If that is the case, why waste energy and time on unnecessary people? Baya looks at Song Shiyu. I will be very busy in the future. I will spend my time on my husband, my child, and my work. My energy is limited. If I spend more time on other things, I will naturally spend less time on the people who are important to me. I may be able to get this child's temporary peace, but my child will also be hurt. He will think about why his mother is so good to his brother. You may think that I am heartless and unsympathetic. I am selfish. I want to give my everything to the people I want to give it to, the people I think are more important to me. So, I don't have time to take care of someone who will hate me. I am also not willing to waste time on someone who is destined to not be grateful to me. I'm sorry to disappoint you. Xiaoya, you study psychology. Maybe you can influence Xiao Xian. Xiao Xian is really a sensible and well-behaved child. Song Shiyu still didn't give up. I understand human nature. This child may not be a bad person, but he hates me. I don't have the time and energy to reform him. I don't want to spend time on things that are unnecessary to me. Mom, take good care of him. For him, having you and Gu Lingqing is enough. I am Qin Tang Tang. My novel has been adapted into a radio drama. Please follow my WeChat account. Fairy Lake, then you can listen to it. Chapter 807. Do you still have any humanity? How can you be so heartless? He is still a child. You keep saying that it is enough for him to have Lingqing. But if you leave, how can Lingqing come back? He has no mother and needs a father. That's right. You can let go of Shosho and leave. You can do that to your own son, let alone to other people's children. Song Shiyu was a little uneasy and said. Baya stared at Song Shiyu's anger and resentment towards her. This perhaps was human nature. Most people stood on their own side, and she did not blame them. Every man for himself would be destroyed by heaven and earth. However, She also had to stand on her side to consider the problem. She had just arrived, but Song Shiyu already had so many opinions about her. It was obvious that Song Shiyu cared about Xiao Xian. In the future, as long as Xiao Xian provoked a little, Song Shiyu would have more opinions about her. In the long run, it would hurt the relationship between them. Song Shiyu was Gu Lingqing's mother. It was difficult for Gu Lingqing to be stuck in the middle, and she would also be annoyed. No matter how powerful the enemy was, it could not hurt a person's heart. The one who could hurt a person's heart was always the person he cared about the most. Baiya turned around and looked at Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing looked at her deeply. I respect and support your decision. Baiya's heart trembled, and some warm currents flowed into her limbs and bones. He still cared about her the most, so even if she showed the evil side of human nature, he still protected her. In her heart, his action was very warm. Similarly, in Song Shiyu's heart, she must have been hurt. Life was so angry. Everything in the world reinforced and restrained each other. What was good for one side would naturally be bad for the other side. Lingqing, I don't like Xiao Xian because he was born from you and another woman. I'm jealous, disgusted by him. I feel uncomfortable whenever I see him. Even if I pretend to be kind on the outside, I can't change the torment in my heart. But I don't want you to feel bad and be stuck in the middle. So, I choose not to be calculative. After all, you are his father. He needs you to correct his outlook on life, values, and right and wrong. In the future, you should pay more attention to him. Surround him with your love. This is the only thing I can tolerate and support you in fulfilling your responsibilities as a father, Baiya said seriously. Gu Lingqing nodded. When he nodded, there was a moment of discomfort in her heart. The more time Gu Lingqing spent on Xiao Xian, the less time he spent on Shosho. However, it was impossible for a person to get everything he wanted. He shouldn't build his happiness on other people's pain. He shouldn't hope for 100%. The greater the hope, the greater the disappointment. It was enough to get 50%. If it was less than 50%, there was no need to wait and stay. Even if she was uncomfortable, she had to endure it. After all, Xiao Xian was his child. She chose to live with Gu Lingqing, so she had to accept the current situation. When accepting the current situation, she had to first consider the future. With this situation, many things could not be avoided. Instead of suffering every day in the future, it was better to think about what she could retreat from the beginning and what her bottom line was. Once she had made up her mind, there was no need to hesitate. After all, the road was chosen by herself. Baiya looked at Song Shiyu. You don't have to worry now. Song Shiyu calmed down and realized that what she said just now was too harsh. I'm sorry, Xiaoya. I said the wrong thing just now. Song Shiyu apologized. Baiya smiled. This is the resentment you have for me. If I were you and my daughter-in-law ran away and left the child behind, I would definitely have resentment too. You're right. You don't have to apologize. Song Shiyu was worried that her behavior would chase Baiya away. It's my fault. I shouldn't have said that. You've done enough for Lingqing. It's also because you love him and can't bear to be apart. That's why you made this decision. I didn't consider your pain. I'm sorry. You're a good child. I know that your decision is definitely right. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. There's no resentment. It's not about forgiveness. Thank you for helping me take care of Shosho, Baiya said calmly. Her calmness scared Song Shiyu. She asked uncertainly, will you bring Shosho to visit me? I'm not staying with you, but it doesn't mean that you can't visit Shosho. I welcome you to visit Shosho any time. But if I bring Shosho here and Xiao Xian sees him, he will feel uncomfortable. He will feel that his pitiful love has been taken away again. He will hate my child. I don't want to cause trouble for my child, Baiya said rationally. Song Shiyu didn't know what to say. She lowered her head and wiped her tears. She knew that Baiya studied psychology. She was more knowledgeable about life than the average person. She could see the future and predict the future. So, even though it seemed heartless, it made sense. If she said it directly, she would feel uncomfortable for a while. If she didn't say it, people would be suspicious and she would feel uncomfortable for the rest of her life. Then, can you stay here today? Song Shiyu asked expectantly. Baiya nodded. It could be seen that Shosho was well taught by Song Shiyu. If she took Shosho away as soon as she came back, it would be unkind to Song Shiyu. I will stay for a few days. As for the rest, we will wait for Gu Lingqing's arrangement. Baya looked at Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing nodded. Baya went back to her room. Shosho was playing with toys in the room with Xiao Xia. Baya sat on the sofa and watched Shosho. Shosho handed his beloved car to Baya. Baya took it with a smile. Shosho went to get other gifts for Baya. Baya took it and played with Shosho. Song Shiyu's room. When are you going to move? Song Shiyu asked worriedly. Although Xiao Ya's words are harsh, she avoided unhappiness in the future. I think what she said makes sense. I will come back to see you often, Gu Lingqing said with a deep voice. Xiao Ya has always been cold and decisive. Once she has decided, no one can change her mind. From another perspective, if she doesn't come back, you won't come back either. You will only come back when she comes back. Although she is cold, she is reasonable and considerate. She won't make things difficult for you, Song Shiyu said softly. Xiao Ya has forgotten most of the things. She has also forgotten about Zhou Hailun. Ha! She has forgotten most of the things. Song Shiyu was shocked. She didn't know about this. No wonder she is more rational than before. She is so rational that she is not affected by her emotions. She has forgotten most of the things. Is there an accident? She hypnotized herself. Song Shiyu was shocked again. She lowered her head and hid her emotions. I forgot that she had this ability. I am Qin Tang Tang. My novel has been adapted into a radio drama. Please follow my WeChat account. Fairy Lake, then you can listen to it. Chapter 808. Gu Lingqing could tell that she still had a grudge against Baya. His gaze deepened. I left without saying goodbye and chose to die. She must be very sad. After all, she had worked so hard for so long. That's why she chose to forget the past. In the past I lived for the country. Now, I want to live for her. She sacrificed so much for me, Gu Lingqing said to Baya in a gentle tone. Song Shiyu was moved. We owe her. Don't worry about Xiao Xin. I'll raise him up and regulate his behavior. I'll teach him to be a good person. When Xiao Ya left, she considered your feelings. She was afraid that you would be too sad, so she asked someone to send Xiao Xin to your side. She wanted you to be happy. If she makes you feel uncomfortable now, she hopes that you can forgive her, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Song Shiyu's eyes turned red. I just think, how can a person be so rational and heartless? Being heartless doesn't mean that she doesn't have feelings. The probability of her analysis is 80%. She just eliminated a lot of unnecessary worries, Gu Lingqing said. She's the person you love the most. You'll definitely speak up for her. Even if she's not the person I love the most, I think what she said makes sense. You have a different feeling for Xiao Xin. Now, you feel that Xiao Xin is wronged. If she and Xiao Xin have a conflict in the future, you'll side with Xiao Xin even more. Your feelings will be consumed during the incident. She's just trying to maintain the current situation, Gu Lingqing said rationally. Ah! Xiao Xin screamed in fear. Song Shiyu immediately opened the door and saw Xiao Xin lying on the ground, not moving at all. Gu Lingqing came out too. The first person he saw was Baya standing in the corridor. What happened? He rolled down the stairs by himself, Baya explained. Xiao Xin sat up. Her arms, legs and waist were all bruised. She pointed at Baya and said, It was you. You pushed me down. Why did you push me? Song Shiyu looked at Baya. Baya smiled and said to Song Shiyu, Do you believe him but not me? He is already injured. How can you still smile? Song Shiyu said anxiously. Baya was also angry. Can you tell what a smile is? I'm not laughing because I'm taking pleasure in your misfortune, but because I'm disappointed in you. Besides, even if I'm really laughing, it's only natural because he's trying to frame me. Kindness needs to be clear about the target. You should have heard of the story of the farmer and the snake. You're so eloquent. I can't argue with you. Song Shiyu helped Xiao Xin up. Are you hurt? Where does it hurt? I'll take you to the hospital now. Song Shiyu held Xiao Xian's hand and walked away. Baya smiled slightly. She shouldn't be angry. She looked at Gu Lingqing and said, "Do you also think that I did it? I believe he fell down on his own. There was no need for you to push him, but there was something to be gained from him pushing you." He was aiming for Song Shiyu's misunderstanding of you and her love for him, Gu Lingqing said. Baya felt a little warm in her heart. She was not angry anymore. She came here because of Gu Lingqing. As long as Gu Lingqing understood her, she didn't care about other people. Naturally, she didn't need to care about other people's emotions and misunderstandings about her. This child must have prepared a plan. When I went out, I saw him standing at the stairs. He looked at me with hatred and fell down by himself, Baya explained. Xiaoya, you're a psychologist. What do you think we should do in such a situation? There's no solution. The reason why he did this is because of his hysterical hatred for me. In order to take revenge on me, he didn't hesitate to hurt himself. He's someone who can be cruel to himself. Although he's still young, he's very vicious. In order to avoid aggravating the hatred, the less contact, the better. So I really can't bring him around, Baya said gently. Gu Lingqing nodded. I know what to do. Wait for me at home. Gu Lingqing went out and saw them by the lake. Song Shiyu was applying medicine for Xiao Xian. Gu Lingqing walked over and took the medicine from Song Shiyu. He squatted down and applied it for Xiao Xian. Dad, she really pushed me downstairs, Xiao Xian complained. I installed a surveillance camera in the room and checked it. I saw you standing at the stairs from the start. When you saw her coming out, you fell down by yourself, Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. Xiao Xian was stunned. He looked at Gu Lingqing carefully. Song Shiyu saw Xiao Xian's expression and knew that it was true. He comforted, Xiao Xian is still a child. It's inevitable that he'll be stubborn. Don't blame him. When a child does something wrong, he can avoid punishment because he's a child. It's mainly because the adults are soft-hearted, loving and unwilling to let him go. As time goes by, the child will feel that it's okay for him to make mistakes because someone is protecting him and spoiling him. In the future, he'll go overboard. He's trying and leveling up, Gu Lingqing said coldly. Song Shiyu's expression didn't look good. I'll teach him in the future. You can't bear to punish him this time. If you still can't bear to do it next time, I'll send Xiao Xian away and get someone to teach him strictly, Gu Lingqing said. Dad, don't. Xiao Xian knelt on the ground anxiously. Xiao Xian won't do it again. Xiao Xian will be obedient in the future. I've heard you say this a few years ago. What happened in the end? You hate her but she's innocent. I've never liked your mother. She killed my brothers and has been lurking around me. I don't expect you to understand now. I just hope that you'll understand when you grow up. Gu Lingqing stood up coldly. I won't allow you to send him away. Are you trying to force me to death? Xiao Xian is already pitiful without his parents. Where are you going to send him? Lingqing, you can't be so cruel. Song Shiyu walked to Xiao Xian's side and protected Xiao Xian. I'm not cruel. I'm just making the right choice. You're loving but you'll cause him to go astray. If you send him away, won't he go down the wrong path? He'll hate you too. Let Xiao Xian stay by my side. I'm begging you, Song Shiyu said pitifully. Gu Lingqing's heart softened. He looked at Xiao Xian in Song Shiyu's arms. This is the last chance I'm giving you. If you do something wrong again, I promise you'll lose your freedom forever. Xiao Xian nodded. His whole body was trembling with anger, tolerance, fear, and hatred. Gu Lingqing went back. Baya was playing with Shosho. Gu Lingqing sat next to Baya, looked at her and said, I will take you and Shosho back to the military area tomorrow. Bring Xiao Xia along. I think she has a good relationship with Shosho. She doesn't have a boyfriend yet. We'll find one for her in the military, Baya said with a smile. Xiao Xia immediately blushed and lowered her head shyly. What about Lin Shulan? Gu Lingqing asked. I am Qin Tangtang. My novel has been adapted into a radio drama. Please follow my WeChat account. Fairy Lake, then you can listen to it. Chapter 809. She's your mother's adopted daughter and there's no one around her. Let her stay with your mother. Old people need to be taken care of too, Baya said gently. She was so mean to you just now. Don't you blame her? Gu Lingqing asked and passed the toy to Shosho. Of course not. She loves Xiao Exine so much. The moment I refuted her, she would definitely be angry too. When people are angry, they will definitely hurt others. That's normal. Plus, she has a grudge against me. She must vent it out. We should be filial to her in the future, Baya said with a smile. Gu Lingqing smiled too. She looked cold and aloof, but in fact, she knew what was right and what was wrong. She was also very understanding. Shosho, call me Daddy, Gu Lingqing said. Daddy. Shosho played with his toy and said casually. Baya saw that he was acting weird and her heart softened. She lowered her head and kissed Shosho's face. Shosho looked at Baya and kissed Baya's face too. It was as if the intimacy came from the blood. Half an hour later, Lin Shulan came up and said to them, Dinner is ready. Young master, madam, Xiao Xia, young master, come down and eat. Let's go down and eat, Gu Lingqing said and wanted to hold Baya's hand. Baya quickly carried Shosho. Gu Lingqing was speechless. Xiao Xia pursed her lips and smiled. The last time she had a gathering with her classmates, everyone said that after a man gave birth to a son, the most important thing in his heart was his wife. After a woman gave birth to a son, the most important thing in her heart was her son. They also said that after a man gave birth to a daughter, the most important thing in his heart was his daughter. After a woman gave birth to a daughter, the most important thing in her heart was her husband. She had never married, had no boyfriend and had never given birth to a child, so she just listened to it. Now it seemed to be true. Baya carried Shosho downstairs. Song Shiyu was setting the table. She greeted respectfully. Mom. Well, have a seat. I was in a bad mood just now, so I spoke too harshly. I'm sorry. Song Shiyu apologized. It's okay, Baya said with a smile and looked at Shosho. Call me Grandma, Grandma. Grandma, Shosho called out in a childish voice. He looked at Song Shiyu with his black eyes. Song Shiyu also liked Shosho. She then looked at Baya. Shosho has a child chair. I'll carry him to eat first. All right. Song Shiyu carried Shosho and placed him on the child's chair. She prepared some food for Shosho and Xiao Xia came over to feed Shosho. Baya saw that the food was very sumptuous. There was Peking duck, beef, braised pork with preserved vegetables, prawns, braised fish, stewed chicken feet, pickled squid, white gourd spare ribs, crab tofu and a bowl of fu tiao chong. It had been a long time since she had seen so many dishes from her hometown. Her appetite was instantly aroused. She ate the braised pork with preserved vegetables and praised generously, delicious. Song Shiyu heard the praise and smiled. Eat more. You're too skinny. It's good for your body to gain some weight. I'm learning martial arts from Ling Qing now to strengthen my body. Mom, you should eat more too. Baya smiled. Gu Lingqing peeled the prawns, dipped them in the sauce and placed them in front of Baya. Baya felt sweet. The prawns that Gu Lingqing peeled were very delicious. She peeled one too and dipped it in the sauce. She placed it in front of Gu Lingqing. Love was like a beautiful waltz. It wasn't about giving blindly, nor was it about gaining blindly. Instead, it was about mutual efforts. Oh yeah. Is Zhang Xingyu still with you? Baya asked casually. Lin Shulan shivered and lowered her head. He should be nearby. Ask him to join us for dinner, Baya said. Okay, Gu Lingqing replied and made a call. Lin Shulan quickly gobbled up the rice and finished it in a minute. She said to Xiao Xia, You eat. I'll feed Shosho. Okay, Xiao Xia replied and sat at the dining table. Soon, Zhang Xingyu came over and greeted them respectfully. Madam Chief, Madam Chief. Xingyu, long time no see. You've grown stronger, Song Shiyu said happily. Zhang Xingyu scratched his head and looked at Gu Lingqing. It's the chief who took good care of me. Lin Shulan stole a glance at Zhang Xingyu. Her eyes flashed with emotion. She lowered her head and continued to feed Shosho. Zhang Xingyu didn't see Lin Shulan. He sat beside Xiao Xia and smiled at her. Xiaoxia blushed even more. Lin Shulan saw the exchange of glances between them. She smiled bitterly and continued to feed Shosho. Shosho shook his head in satisfaction and knocked on the table, attracting everyone's attention. Zhang Xingyu looked at Shosho too. This kid is obviously a martial arts prodigy. Everyone at the table laughed. Even Gu Lingqing, who usually didn't smile, had a smile on her face. Lin Shulan looked at Zhang Xingyu. Zhang Xingyu didn't even look at her. She didn't want to embarrass herself, so she continued to feed Shosho. Baiya could tell that there was something going on between Lin Shulan and Zhang Xingyu. She looked at Gu Lingqing and met Gu Lingqing's gaze. You wanted to matchmake them, but Zhang Xingyu didn't have the intention, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. I can tell, Baiya said softly as she placed the peeled prawns into Gu Lingqing's bowl. The meal was quite harmonious. After the meal, Gu Lingqing and Baiya brought Shosho out for a walk. The breeze blew past their faces, bringing with it the fragrance of flowers. Is the president your elder brother or younger brother? Baiya asked. He said that he's my elder brother. Because we're twins, he looks very similar to me. I told him that he'll meet us at the military base tomorrow. Also, he's married to Mu Wan. She changed her name to Xiang Wan, Gu Lingqing said. Baiya shook her head. I don't have any impression of these people. You haven't met her, but you suggested not to marry her. Mu Wan is the daughter of the eldest daughter of the Xiang family. She followed her father since she was young. She only returned to the Xiang family after her father died, Gu Lingqing explained. Baiya nodded. She had no impression of these people and wasn't interested in them. She squeezed Gu Lingqing's shoulder and her eyes lit up. What position are you going to arrange for me at the military base? The wife of the chief, Gu Lingqing said seriously. Baiya smiled. Arrange a job for me in the psychological field. I need to have something to do so I won't feel too empty. Okay, I'll make arrangements after we go to the military base tomorrow. Will you still accept patients who are not from the military base? Baiya pondered and said, I don't think so. I can still show the soldiers' families. I used to be in the gynecology and obstetrics department, so I know how to deliver babies. Soldiers and their wives and children have been away for too long, so it's inevitable that they will be homesick. If we can bring them over and they can see each other often, they will be more grateful. Soldiers have sacrificed a lot to protect the country, so we should also fight for more benefits for them, right? About this, I'll leave it to you. If you have any ideas, you can tell me and go through the process. Don't worry about money. Goose is still rich. I am Qin Tang Tang. My novel has been adapted into a radio drama. Please follow my WeChat account. Fairy Lake, then you can listen to it. Chapter 8:10. Baiya lowered her head and laughed softly. Gu Lingqing looked at her, puzzled. What are you laughing at? I feel very happy, so I'm very happy. I'm also thankful for my hard work in the past, so that I can easily obtain happiness now, Baiya said happily, her eyes reflecting the light of the street lamps, full of emotion and passion. When he heard her say that, his heart was filled with tenderness. He smiled and held her hand, intertwining their fingers. I'll tell you everything in the future. I won't let you guess or make a choice. That's the best. You know, when you do a job, you'll get tired of it. I'm always trying to guess people's hearts at work. If life is so tiring, I'll feel very annoyed. Baiya leaned on his shoulder and looked up at the moon. The moon was round and bright, looking very beautiful. When are you going to visit Lu Shuang in Country D? I'll make the arrangements, Gu Lingqing said gently. I want to go after I see Shen Yan, so that I can answer to her. Otherwise, if I go empty-handed and bring nothing to her, it'll only add to her worries, Baiya said rationally. Okay. The two of them stood together and looked at the moon. Xiaoxia held Shosho's hand and stood at the side, looking at the moon with them. The autumn wind blew over. It was cool, but mixed with the fragrance of nature, it felt very beautiful. It was as if they were in ancient times, enjoying the peace and beauty of nature. The next day, Baiya woke up naturally. She looked to her side and saw that Gu Lingqing was no longer there. He usually woke up earlier than her. She went to brush her teeth and wash up. When she went out, she saw Gu Lingqing running around the lake. She ran with him, trying her best to keep up with his slow pace. They ran 10 laps and came back. I'll teach you a few of the most useful defensive skills. Sure, Baiya replied. Do you know where the weakest part of the human body is? Gu Lingqing asked. Eyes, throat, and there, Baiya said. If the opponent attacks you from the front, in a moment of desperation, you should attack his eyes and throat. Except for the weak points, these 2 places have no defense. If you kick your hand over there, the opponent will clamp your leg, which will put yourself in danger. Gu Lingqing explained in detail. Baiya nodded and went to attack Gu Lingqing's eyes. He did not move. Of course, she wouldn't really attack his eyes. She stopped and asked, Why didn't you dodge? I want you to find your sense of existence, Gu Lingqing said earnestly. If I didn't hold back, would you have lost your eyes? Although Baiya scolded him harshly, she still felt sorry for him in her heart. Moreover, there was a very sweet feeling. Didn't you stop it? Gu Lingqing said dotingly. In order to ensure that you can hit the enemy without fail, I will train your speed and the strength of your fingertips. Do you know how to train them? Baiya shook her head. Although she had done research on psychology, she knew nothing about training. How? First, lift dumbbells for an hour every day. Half an hour in the morning and half an hour in the evening. Then, do 6 sets of pull-ups every day. 3 sets in the morning, 30 in each set. 3 sets at night, 30 in each set. Let's do it slowly. Pull-ups? I can't do any of them. That's because you lack arm strength. Does training arm strength have anything to do with fingers? Baiya was confused. Actually, there are exercises that involve fingers. Besides, increasing muscle strength will improve your speed and strength. If you can't even do 1 pull-up, you can change to push-ups. Can you do that? Baiya shook her head again. Very few girls can do one. I can't even do one. Do half a push-up first. Take it slowly. Baiya was confused. Why do half a push-up first? 1 is to put your hands on the ground. Your hands and feet are on a flat surface. Half a push-up is to put your hands on the stone bench first. Your hands and feet are at a 45-degree angle. You can do it easily this way. Then, slowly lower the height of your hands until you can do a standard push-up. I will train with you. We have all the time in the world, Gu Lingqing said softly. Baiya nodded. Then I'll try half a push-up first. She looked at the chair by the lake. Can I put my hands on it? Yes. Baiya put her hands on the chair and pressed down. She did 3 push-ups. Gu Lingqing leaned over and held her stomach with his hand. He reminded her, when you do push-ups, you have to press your body down. All the strength is concentrated in your palms. You don't have to move your butt. Baiya was speechless. She blushed. She imagined herself doing it. It was awkward. She pressed her body down. Her arms were too thin and had no muscles at all. They could not support her weight at all. If not for Gu Lingqing holding her up, she would have fallen to the ground. I'm sorry. My stamina is really bad, Baiya apologized. It's my fault for not taking good care of you. Don't worry, we can do it slowly. As long as tomorrow is always better than today, Gu Lingqing comforted her. I'll try half a push-up first, Baiya said. She looked at the stone table in the forest. Okay. Gu Lingqing held her hand and led her to the forest. Baiya practiced push-ups while he practiced martial arts. Baiya finished 30 push-ups. She sat on the chair and watched him practice. Just looking at him was enjoyable. When he punched out, she could see the leaves trembling even though they were 2 meters apart. No wonder back in America, he was quickly beaten to the ground when so many people ganged up on him. They practiced together for an hour. They were all sweaty and went back for breakfast. Song Shiyu had woken up a long time ago and had prepared breakfast. Shou had also woken up and was playing with Che Che. Xiao Xia and Lin Shulan played with him. Mom, Baiya called softly. Okay, you guys go take a shower first and come over for breakfast, Song Shiyu said lovingly. Okay. Baiya went back to her room to take a shower first. She only applied shampoo on her hair when the water stopped. Lingqing. Lingqing. Baiya shouted. Here. Gu Lingqing opened the door and came in. He looked at her and paused for a moment. She was not wearing any clothes. Her snow-white body was stained with water vapor. She was like a lotus flower coming out of the water, pink and tender. His breath tightened and the color of his eyes changed. Baya did not notice his strangeness. She turned on the faucet and said, "There's suddenly no water." Gu Lingqing came back to his senses. "That's impossible. We have our own electricity and water." A thought flashed through his mind, and he roughly knew the reason. Wait a moment. He went out and entered the electrical room. Sure enough, someone had turned off the electricity to the pump. He turned on the electricity, went out, locked the door, and looked for Song Shiyu. Song Shiyu was also playing with Shosho. "Mom, come here," Gu Lingqing said. Confused, Song Shiyu followed Gu Lingqing out of the door. "I am Qin Tangtang. My novel has been adapted into a radio drama. Please follow my WeChat account. Fairy Lake, then you can listen to it." Chapter 8:11. Xiaoya was taking a shower just now. "Xiao Xian turned off the water pump," Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. Song Shiyu paused and looked at Gu Lingqing in disbelief. He really did that? When Zhou Hailon was around, he had been trying to sow discord between Xiao Xian and Xiaoya. "Zhou Hailon framed me and killed my brothers. In order to save me, Xiaoya kidnapped Xiao Xian and forced Zhou Hailon to tell the truth. However, Zhou Hailon would rather abandon Xiao Xian than tell the truth to save me. Then how did you get out in the end? Didn't Zhou Hailon betray Shang Dongqing to save you?" Song Shiyu didn't know much about what happened that year. Zhou Hailon betrayed Shang Dongqing because Xiaoya went to Su Jieran. Everything Zhou Hailon did was to get Su Jieran's love. In the end, Zhou Hailon was sent to the mental hospital. However, Xiao Xian always remembered that Baya kidnapped him. So, he hated Baya to the core, Gu Lingqing explained. Song Shiyu understood. "So what did you decide to do?" "Xiao Xian harmed Xiaoya again and again. Even if he didn't say it in front of us, he did it again in the blink of an eye. He can't stay by our side," Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. "But if we send him away, he will hate you even more. I will find someone to control him strictly. If he stays by your side, he will be more unscrupulous. I don't need him to be successful. I just want him to live a peaceful life. I will give him enough money to enrich his life. However, if he makes a mistake, I won't let it go," Gu Lingqing said firmly. Song Shiyu finally nodded. She could guarantee that Xiao Xian did it the first time for Baya. However, after one night, Xiao Xian harmed Baya for the second time. She didn't want to keep Xiao Xian anymore. Gu Lingqing found Xiaoxin, who was hiding in the library, and walked towards him. Xiao Xian stood trembling and looked at Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing squatted down in front of him. "Everyone has to take responsibility for their own mistakes. She was the one who kidnapped me. Why doesn't she have to take responsibility?" Xiaoxing said anxiously. "Did she hurt you?" "She didn't. If she really kidnapped you, why did she let you go? Kidnapping you was just a temporary measure. You don't understand now, but I hope you will understand when you grow up. Someone will take you away later," Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Xiao Xian was worried. "Dad, you don't want me anymore? If I don't want you, I won't care about you. I just hope that you will become an upright person and use your intelligence on the right things instead of harming others. In the future, the person who will take care of you will be an excellent soldier. He will teach you martial arts, strategy, and guide you to the correct outlook on life and values. I will call you every week," Gu Lingqing said as he stood up. Xiao Xian pursed his lips and clenched his fists. He could tell that Gu Lingqing had made up his mind. It was useless to beg. "Don't regret it." Gu Lingqing looked at the anger in Xiao Xian's eyes and his eyes darkened. "Don't do anything that you will regret. If you make a mistake, I won't let it go." Xiao Xian snorted coldly and walked out of the room. Baya came out of the shower and saw an angry Xiao Xian. She didn't like this child. She really didn't like him. She felt that he wasn't a child. He carried too much hatred and murderous intent. But he was still a child. Hence, She tried her best to forgive his pranks. Xiaoya, it's time for breakfast, Song Shiyu said gently. Okay, Baiya replied. Then, she saw Xiao Xian go to the kitchen. Song Shiyu went to get some porridge. Baiya followed her in, but she didn't see Xiao Xian. I made porridge with pork and century egg and your favorite egg pancake. You used to like my egg pancakes, Song Shiyu said with a smile. Song Shiyu rolled up the egg pancake and placed it on a plate. Mom, has Xiao Xian had breakfast? Baiya asked. He has. He ate when you were jogging, Song Shiyu said. Baiya smiled. She didn't take the bowl and went out. She went to look for Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing was about to take a shower. Lingqing, there's something I want to tell you, Baiya said. Okay. What is it? Gu Lingqing took off his clothes and revealed his well-dressed upper body. She had seen it. When she looked at it again, she blushed unconsciously. She lowered her eyes and said, I saw Xiao Xian go to the kitchen just now. When I went to the kitchen, he was gone. Gu Lingqing heard something and put on his clothes again. You suspect that he did something to the breakfast? I'm not sure yet. But before he went into the kitchen, he looked at me with hatred. If he didn't do anything, why would he leave through the window? Baiya guessed. Let's go downstairs and have a look, Gu Lingqing said with a serious expression. He went downstairs. This time, Gu Ruoxin had crossed his bottom line. He looked at the breakfast on the table and asked Song Shiyu, Where's Xiao Xian? Song Shiyu looked around and said in confusion, He was here just now. Gu Lingqing went out and saw Gu Ruoxin by the lake. He walked towards Gu Ruoxin. When Gu Ruoxin saw Gu Lingqing coming, he broke into a run. Gu Lingqing made a call. Catch Gu Ruoxin. Soon, Gu Ruoxin was caught by an Ing who was hiding and sent to the villa. Song Shiyu looked at Gu Lingqing in surprise. What's wrong? Gu Lingqing looked at Gu Ruoxin. Eat the breakfast on the table. I'm not eating. I've already eaten, Gu Ruoxin said with his eyes wide open. I know you've eaten. Eat it, Gu Lingqing ordered. Gu Lingqing, are you trying to kill me? You must have poisoned the breakfast. You want to poison me, right? Gu Ruoxin said angrily. Gu Lingqing stood up angrily. If I want to kill you, I can do it in a second. There's no need for such a complicated poison. You know who did it. Song Shiyu was stunned. He looked at Baiya. What do you mean? Ask him, Gu Lingqing said. He looked at Gu Ruoxin fiercely. Since you dare to do it, why don't you dare to admit it? Don't you think that you're doing the right thing? If you don't even have the courage to admit it, how can you be righteous? Fine, I'll say it. I'm the one who put the rat poison. All of you deserve to die, Gu Ruoxin said confidently. Song Shiyu slapped Gu Ruoxin's face. Gu Ruoxin looked at Song Shiyu in surprise. Grandma. I'm not your grandma. I don't have a grandson like you. You already know how to kill people at such a young age. You'll be even worse when you grow up. If it wasn't for Baiya, he would have really died after taking the rat poison, Song Shiyu said anxiously. Chapter 8:12. How have they wronged you? Song Shiyu was terrified. You're too scary. You're like a demon. No one has let you down, but you've let others down many times. Gu Ruoxin pursed his lips, his eyes filled with arrogance. If you want to kill me, then do it. You've been wanting to kill me for a long time. If I want to kill you, I can do it in a second. The mistakes you have made are enough to put you in prison for 10 years, Gu Lingqing said sternly. It's just 10 years. After 10 years, I will only be 19 years old. What's there to be afraid of? Gu Ruoxin said indifferently. You're rebelling. How could the Gu family have a child like you? Song Shiyu couldn't stay calm either. Yan Nuo, send him to Chenzhong. Without my order, don't let him leave the island, Gu Lingqing ordered. Yes. Yan Nuo nodded and left with Gu Ruoxin. Song Shiyu sat on the chair weakly, still looking at Gu Ruoxin's back in disbelief. How can this child be like this? He's just a child, how can he be so bad? There are kids like this in every school. They don't listen to the teachers, and they have no discipline. They are mischievous and do bad things to get attention from others. Xiao Xia sighed. It's the influence of the environment. Xiao Xian's obsession is too deep. Her resentment is too strong. She can't change it. That's all we can do, Baya said helplessly. After all, she was not a god. She was just a psychologist. Some people's mental illness could not be cured because they themselves did not think that it was wrong. Therefore, there was nothing she could do. Xiao Xian is gone. Can you stay? Song Shiyu asked hopefully. Baya looked at Gu Lingqing. Mom, if it's convenient, why don't you come live with us in the military? Gu Lingqing invited. Okay, Song Shiyu agreed immediately. At her age, she had already seen through money and power. All she wanted was a family reunion and to be together happily. Song Shiyu was worried that the rice at home had been poisoned, so she threw it all away. It was useless. She covered all the furniture in the house with white blankets. Bai Ya and Gu Lingqing helped together. After living here for 3 years, Song Shiyu was still a little reluctant to leave. We will come back often for vacation, Bai Ya comforted. Song Shiyu smiled. As long as I'm with you, I'll be happy wherever I go. I'm most afraid that you'll leave me behind. I'm sorry, Mom, Bai Ya apologized. Song Shiyu held Bai Ya's hand and patted it. I know that you've thought about every decision you make. I can still fight for the company for another 10 years. After 10 years, you have to think of a way to take over my position. Bai Ya looked at Gu Lingqing. She knew nothing about business. Song Shiyu was indeed getting older, and it was time for him to enjoy life. I'll arrange it when the time comes, Gu Lingqing promised. Go and have breakfast now. We've already eaten. Leave this place to us. When are you going to the military base? Is there a plane coming to pick you up? Song Shiyu asked. Gu Lingqing nodded. The plane will arrive at 11 a.m. Xiaoya and I will go and have breakfast first. Go ahead, Song Shiyu said with a smile. In the car Gu Lingqing drove while Baya rested on the chair. Where will you send Xiao Xian? Baya asked casually. I'll train him strictly and correct his outlook on life and values. I hope that he can become a useful person, Gu Lingqing said seriously. I heard that my eldest son is living with his adoptive parents. Can we bring them to the military base? Baya asked softly. It's fine if they live in the compound, but there are many restrictions in the military base. It's not convenient for children to study. Do you still remember what we discussed? We can find an empty plot of land near the military base and apply for it as a place for the families of soldiers to live. We can also build a factory nearby to solve the employment problem for the families. We can also open a hospital and a school. We can prepare all the basic facilities for the people. That way, the soldiers can go home more often. Gu Lingqing thought for a while. We can try it first. When I go back, I'll get someone to look for a plot of land and apply for it. Okay, Baya replied and looked outside. Every city was more or less the same. The houses, streets, shops, pedestrians. The difference was that every city had its own culture and food. When you go to a place, you have to eat the local food and visit places with historical allusions. It became a tour. Actually, she liked the sea, liked eating seafood, and liked the cool wind. But for her lover, she could give up many things. Gu Lingqing's car stopped. The crab roe dumplings here are not bad. Are they really using crab roe? How can a crab have so much crab roe? Baya said with a smile. I'll ask when the time comes. There's no need. I'll ask later. I don't care, Baya said and walked into the restaurant. The staff at the entrance of the restaurant was washing the crabs. Someone sent the steamed red crabs into the kitchen. The entire restaurant was filled with people eating soup dumplings. There were also many people queuing at the window. It seems to be real crabs. The crabs are very plump in this season, Baya said. Okay. Wait a moment. I'll get a private room, Gu Lingqing said and went to find the boss. After a while, he came out with a waiter. The waiter brought them to the attic on the 2nd floor. There was an elegant wooden house on the attic on the 2nd floor. In front of the wooden house were flowers and plants that he planted himself. Next to the house was a row of roses. Even though it was November, the flowers had withered. They were green and very beautiful. They blocked the view and the tall buildings. It was a different kind of scenery. Mr. Gu, what would you like to order? The waiter asked respectfully. 4 servings of crab roe dumplings. I want 6 servings to go, and 2 bowls of tofu soup, Gu Lingqing said. Mr. Gu, do you want crystal steamed dumplings? There are 6 flavors. It's the special breakfast of our restaurant, the waiter introduced. Then give me 2 servings. We can't finish all the food we ordered, Baya reminded. Then 2 servings of crab roe dumplings and 2 servings of crystal steamed dumplings. I want 4 servings of soup dumplings and 2 bowls of steamed dumplings to go. Gu Lingqing changed his order. Do you still want the tofu soup? Yes. Okay. It'll be ready in 2 minutes. The waiter ordered and left. Baya supported his chin with his fingers rhythmically tapping on the table. The table here should be for the owner's own use. Gu Lingqing answered. Is this restaurant owned by your friend? Baya asked. Yeah, you know him too. Because of a mistake during a drill, he lost his leg. We went to visit him at his house. In the end, he divorced his wife and started raising crabs in his hometown. He's very experienced in raising crabs. He raises more than 10 acres of crabs in the suburbs. The crabs here are all supplied by him. He has a large share in it. He said that he can get more than 3 million yuan of net profit a year. In the process of starting his business, he also met a good girl and got married. Gu Lingqing said with relief and a smile. I am Qin Tang Tang. The novel has been made into a radio drama. Follow me on WeChat Fairy Lake, then you can listen to it. Chapter 8:13. Baya couldn't remember any of this, but seeing Gu Lingqing smile, she was in a good mood. Life will give us torture, but it will also give us surprises, Baya said with a smile. Gu Lingqing held Baya's hand. To him, the surprise was that Baya had returned to his side. Life was short. What more could he ask for? Soon, the waiter brought 2 baskets of crab roe buns, 2 baskets of crystal steamed dumplings, 2 bowls of tofu soup, a big pot of buckwheat tea, and a plate of sour vinegar. The waiters here are very attentive, Baya said. Try it. Gu Lingqing picked up a crystal steamed dumpling and put it on Baya's plate. Baya took a bite. It seems to be prawns, meat, and carrots. It's delicious. Gu Lingqing replied. The corner of his mouth lifted slightly. Baya propped her chin on her hand and looked at him. She had a feeling that her husband was so handsome. You can only smile at me in the future. Gu Lingqing put away his smile and answered in all seriousness. Yes. Baya's heart was filled with warmth. No matter how cold the weather was, her body was still warm. After the meal, Gu Lingqing went to the front desk to pay for his order. Baya stood behind him. The front desk took the money from Gu Lingqing and the boss brought 2 bamboo boxes over. Mr. Gu, our boss asked me to give these to you. You're welcome. I'll go to his place next time, Gu Lingqing rejected politely. Mr. Gu, if you don't take it, our boss will fire me. This is the task he gave me. Gu Lingqing really didn't want to accept it. Giving money would seem too unreasonable. Take it. Baya smiled. Gu Lingqing took the crab from the boss's hand. Thank him for me. Of course, of course. Gu Lingqing returned to the car, and Baya floated towards him. He was deep in thought. It's a token of his sincerity. I can see that he makes delicious soup dumplings. If you want to help him, you can give him a store for free when the residential area near the military area is built, and let him sell soup dumplings there, Baya comforted him. Xiaoya, we didn't have a proper wedding banquet before. I want to choose a good day to hold the wedding, Gu Lingqing said. So that was what he was thinking about. Baya was quite touched. This year, or the beginning of next year. Recently, I want to settle Shen Yan's matter first. Gu Lingqing, you will help me, right? Baya asked softly. Yes. Gu Lingqing answered simply. As long as Gu Lingqing was willing to help her, she was confident. I will stand by your side firmly. Gu Lingqing nodded. They went back to the manor. It was past 10 o'clock. Song Shiyu had tidied up everything in the house. He sat on the sofa and played with Shosho. Shosho was playing with his car. Hearing the sound of the car outside, He stood up and said to Song Shiyu with a confused look, "Dad." Song Shiyu was amused by Shosho's look. He turned around and saw Gu Lingqing and Baiya coming in with food in their hands. "Aren't you going to the military area today?" Song Shiyu asked curiously. "Yes, I've bought soup dumplings. You can all come and eat them. And this crab is a gift from my former comrade," Gu Lingqing said. "How about I cook the crab? We can have lunch at home and go to the military area after lunch," Song Shiyu suggested. "I have a separate villa in the military area. There's everything in the kitchen. We can cook the same thing there. When are you going to the company?" Gu Lingqing asked. "I've left everything to the CEO. I don't have any new investment projects now. I'll have a video conference in the afternoon and evening." "Okay. Let me know when you need to go out," Gu Lingqing said and put the food on the table. Baiya took the disposable chopsticks and carried the baby chair to the table. She said to Shosho gently, "Shosho, time to eat soup dumplings." Shosho ran over immediately. Baiya carried him to the baby chair. "Madam, I'll feed Shosho," Xia said with a smile. "You eat too. The steamed dumplings are nice. They have different flavors in 6th high school," Baiya said with a smile. She opened a box and picked up a dumpling. She put the lid on it so that the soup wouldn't spill. Shosho took a bite and made a happy sound. He smiled sweetly. He was so cute that Baiya's heart melted. How could she bear to give up such a cute baby Xiao Bao? Even she felt it was unbelievable. Baiya took a bite of Shosho. She wouldn't get tired of looking at his cute face for a whole day. Shosho ate more happily. He hummed a song while eating. "Mommy, mommy. Mommy is the best in the world. A child with a mommy is a treasure." Baiya was amused by Shosho. "Grandma is not good." Song Shiyu was jealous. Shosho immediately added, "Grandma, Auntie Xia, Auntie Lanlan, and Daddy are good too." Baiya realized that Lin Shulan was a little distracted. When she mentioned her name, she came back to her senses and smiled. Before they finished eating, the plane arrived. "Bring the leftovers on the plane," Song Shiyu said. She didn't want to waste Gu Lingqing's time. The group of people packed up their luggage. Gu Lingqing sent a small plane that could carry 25 people. It took them less than half an hour to reach the military base. It stopped at the airport. 2 cars came to pick them up. Baiya looked out of the window. Her heart suddenly beat fast. A scene flashed through her mind. The bullet went through the back of Gu Lingqing's head. At the same time, she felt as if her heart had died. "Gu Lingqing, the shooting happened in the military base?" Baiya asked absent-mindedly. "Yes, it was Zhuochuani's men. Now that Zhuochuani has been brought to justice, it won't happen again," Gu Lingqing said calmly. "What about your men? Can they all come to the side yard to protect you?" Baiya asked with lingering fear. Gu Lingqing smiled. Even if he couldn't protect him, he had to protect his lovers. "They're already here. Now that Hua is not the president, my crisis has been resolved." "Yes." Baiya took a deep breath. She leaned back on the chair and lay comfortably. In the sky, the roar of the plane sounded. She looked up. "It should be Buhua. I asked him to come to the military base," Gu Lingqing explained. "Yes," Baiya answered. She was calm. What was not calm was that she saw Xing Buhua's face. Someone had told her before that Gu Lingqing looked very similar to the president. How similar were they? Their height was the same, their faces were the same, and their figures were about the same. If he had to point out something that was different, it would probably be his temperament. Xing Buhua walked to her, looked at her deeply, and said softly, "You're back. I am Qin Tang Tang. The novel has been made into a radio drama. Follow me on WeChat Fairy Lake, then you can listen to it." Chapter 8:14. Xing Buhua and Gu Lingqing looked too much alike. Baiya was in a trance and looked at Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing held Baiya's hand and answered Xing Buhua, "I'm back." Xing Buhua smiled, and the heroic look in his eyes did not diminish. "Congratulations, the clouds have parted to see the moon." "You too," Gu Lingqing said in an official tone. Xing Buhua's eyes dimmed, and his gaze fell on Baiya's face. If I had listened to you, maybe the ending would have been different. Baiya did not understand what he was talking about. Didn't Gu Lingqing say that he listened to her and married Mu Wan? There is no second chance in life. Since you have chosen the life you have now, you should not regret it, because there is no medicine for regret. You should live every day to the fullest. Baiya advised. Xing Buhua smiled bitterly and did not continue the conversation with Baiya. He looked at Gu Lingqing and said, I have something to discuss with you. Come to the study. Gu Lingqing said. Song Shiyu looked at Xing Buhua with a smile and said, Are you having lunch here? Xing Buhua nodded slightly, but did not look friendly. Song Shiyu did not care. She went to the kitchen and continued to wash the crabs. Baiya followed her into the kitchen and opened the fridge. There were many ingredients in the fridge. Mom, what are you going to cook for lunch? Song Shiyu put the washed crabs into the pot, covered the pot, and walked to the fridge. 1 tomato scrambled eggs, Shosho's favorite, 1 winter melon and pork rib soup, 1 mushroom braised chicken, and 1 pickled cabbage shredded pork. Is that okay? We still have 20 crabs. I can hear the size of the crabs, and each one is worth 5 or 6 taels. That's enough. I'll help cook, said Baiya. I can do it alone. You go and accompany Shosho. Cooking for you guys is also my wish. Song Shiyu said with a smile. Since she had already said so, Baiya couldn't insist. Thank you, Mom. She went out and saw that Xiao Xia was accompanying Shosho while Lin Shulan was sitting there in a daze. Are you still thinking about Zhang Xingyu? Baiya sat beside her and asked. Lin Shulan came back to his senses. I also want to forget him. Godmother introduced a few people to me, but I don't get along with them. I don't know what to do now. The fact that you still have feelings for him means that he hasn't hurt you enough. You haven't reached the point of despair yet. You still have that 1% of hope for him. When it comes to relationships, if you don't resolve it quickly, you'll end up dragging things out and causing trouble for yourself. Either you confess to him and get together with him, or you'll be rejected and give up completely, suggested Baiya. Lin Shulan shook his head. He won't agree to it. Then why are you still daydreaming about him? You say that he won't agree to it, but that's just your cowardice. In reality, you still have hope for him. That's even worse. You've already walked into the evil that you've created, Baiya said cruelly. I just want to accompany Godmother. I'm not interested in the matters between men and women. I'll just take it one step at a time, Lin Shulan said with his head lowered. Then don't let yourself daydream and let your imagination run wild. Don't let him affect all your emotions. Also, Zhang Xingyu isn't young anymore. He's been with Gu Lingqing for so many years. Now that Gu Lingqing's career has stabilized, it's time to find a marriage for Zhang Xingyu. I'll arrange a blind date for him. Do you need to give him a chance? Lin Shulan looked at Baiya in surprise and mumbled, Madam wants to arrange a blind date for Zhang Xingyu? We have to be prepared for it. We have to let the people who follow us be happy, Baiya said calmly. Lin Shulan's eyes turned red and he lowered his head. She couldn't refute Baiya's decision and didn't dare to say a word. Baiya looked at her. It's useless for you to feel sorry for yourself. You'll only burden others and make them worry. You can either give up decisively and search for your happiness. I'll arrange a blind date for you, or you can try your best to fight for it. You're not Lin Daiyu and the person you love isn't Jia Baoyu. Don't copy her song of the burial of flowers. What if Zhang Xingyu still doesn't like me? Lin Shulan asked worriedly. You're not worried that he won't like you. You're worried that your pitiful pride will embarrass you. It's not because you're not good. It's because you're not fated with him. Do you understand? Don't be afraid of embarrassing yourself just because you feel inferior, Baiya said. Before she was disfigured, she didn't feel so inferior. But after she was secretly rejected by Zhang Xingyu, she felt especially inferior. I'm still alone, Lin Shulan said with her head lowered. Baiya had a feeling of exasperation and said, All right, the Gu family will always treat you as family anyway. I'll go see Shosho. Baiya stood up and went to Shosho. Mommy will take you out for a walk, okay? Let's go, let's go, let's go. Shosho opened his arms for Baiya to carry him. Baiya carried Shosho and walked out of the door. The children's courtyard outside the door was a very big yard. After she arrived, she directly followed Gu Lingqing into the room and then the president came. She didn't have a good look at the yard. Beside the walls of the courtyard were Boston creepers. They had been planted for a long time and covered the entire wall. Inside the courtyard, there was a small forest at the side of the house. It wasn't big, but there were quite a few fruit trees. There were tomato trees, loquat trees, bayberry trees, apricot trees, apple trees, and orange trees. These trees had been planted for a long time. The trunks were very thick and the trees were also very tall. Now there were no loquats and bayberries. The oranges were growing very well, especially the tomatoes, which were very red. Because they hadn't been picked, they had already fallen to the ground and not many were left. Tomatoes and crabs couldn't be eaten together, so she didn't pick them. After going around the small forest and to the back of the house, there was still a high wall, but there was a very big empty space. There was a distance of 20 meters between the wall and the house. With such a big distance, it was enough to make a small children's playground. She could dig a small pond at the side to raise fish, plant some flowers, and then bring Xiao Bai back. She could marry Xiao Bai and give birth to a lot of little Bai. Shosho, how about mommy making a playground for you here? Baiya asked Shosho. Shosho pointed at the window upstairs and opened his little mouth. Daddy. Baiya followed Shosho's gaze and looked upstairs. Xing Buhua smiled politely at Baiya and nodded. He's not father, he's uncle. Call him uncle. Baiya corrected her. Uncle. Guard 1 corrected him with a dumbfounded expression. Hearing Baiya's voice, Gu Lingqing also walked to the window. When Shosho saw the two fathers, he was stunned for a moment. He looked at Gu Lingqing and then at Xing Buhua. He pointed at Xing Buhua and shouted, Dad! Xing Buhua was amused by her cuteness. He smiled and his eyes were full of tenderness. She can still tell us apart at a glance. No, Hua, don't have any ideas about her, Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. I am Qin Tang Tang. The novel has been made into a radio drama. Follow me on WeChat Fairy Lake, then you can listen to it. Chapter 8:15. If I wanted to hit on her, I would have done it when you weren't around. Don't worry, she's yours. I don't have the kind of feelings you think I have for her. Even if I do, it's because of your influence. Now that you're back, I have nothing to do with it anymore, Xing Buhua said in a low voice. He looked at Baiya who was downstairs. Over the past year, he had dreamed of her several times. They were all when Gu Lingqing separated from her. When Gu Lingqing dreamed of her, he also dreamed of her. However, this time, he treated himself as a bystander, because he clearly knew that it was because Gu Lingqing dreamed of her. The connection between twins was very strange. It was easy to lose one's heart. Fortunately, he returned. Thank you, Baiya. She never gave him a chance. I'm planning to hold a wedding for her this year. Due to various reasons, it didn't happen before. I also want to give her a gift that she wants, Gu Lingqing said while looking at Baiya. Xing Buhua looked at Gu Lingqing with a deep gaze. It's about Shani Yen. Yes. Gu Lingqing replied and said coolly, I came back to be the chief of the military region and help you stabilize all the military regions. What I want is Shani Yen's freedom. But the people's hearts are not stable now. Just one cold sail and they're eyeing him covetously. He's like Zhua Chuani in the past, sitting firmly in the position of deputy commander. His relationships in the dark are complicated. There's also Chu Yubing. He's a new force cultivated by the Shen family. Although Shani Yen has fallen, the power of the Shen family is still there, Xing Buhua said worriedly. No, Buhua. You and I are born from the same root. Fortune and disaster depend on each other. I'll do my best to help you stabilize your position. If you die, Xiaoya and I will die with you. I won't let that happen, Gu Lingqing promised. But you can't control what happens next. If I go back on my word because of fear, then I will only be a vile person in the future. A gentleman is magnanimous. Even if I die, I will have a clear conscience. I will have a clear conscience. I would rather live a noble life than live a cowardly life. There are things a king can do, but there are things a king cannot do, Gu Lingqing advised. Have you heard about King Wu's Fuchai and King Yu's Gojian? Letting go Jian go wasn't a problem at first, but letting go Jian and myself do what they want is the biggest problem. In Country A, the winner is the king and the loser is the bandit. If Go Jian didn't defeat Fu Chai, history would have re-evaluated him. Go Jian was such a sinister person, while Fu Chai was such a righteous person. Go Jian is a good person. Xing Buhua looked at Gu Lingqing and smiled. Go Jian. Gu. Go of your strength. T. At least I care. T. Teet. Didn't you think about Xiao Ye when you made this decision? Letting Shen Yan go will be a hidden danger, Xing Buhua said. This is what Xiao Ye wants. She'll bear the consequences. Xing Buhua smiled. You two are a match made in heaven. One of you can do anything for a friend, while the other can do the same for a woman. All right, I'll let him go. Gu Lingqing looked at Xing Buhua gratefully. Actually, Xing Buhua was the same type of person as them. He could do anything for his brother. He patted Xing Buhua's shoulder. Have lunch here before you go back. I'll try my best to coordinate this matter. Do you have enough money? Xing Buhua asked worriedly. I can sell some properties overseas. Money won't be a problem. Besides, I have a few game projects on hand. I have a few $100 million in my account every month. Don't worry, Gu Lingqing said with certainty. Let's have a family gathering some other day. I'll ask Mu Wan. Since you've married her, treat her well, Gu Lingqing reminded. Falling flowers yearn for love, but heartless water flows. In the end, an east wind blows a field of begonias. Empty sorrow. What do you mean by that? She has someone she likes, Xing Buhua said with a smile. When I fell in love with Xiao Ye, she also had someone she liked. It was just that Su Jiren didn't cherish him, so she fulfilled my wish. I'm grateful to myself for persevering. That's why I'm here with Xiao Ye now, Gu Lingqing said meaningfully. He patted Xing Buhua's shoulder again as encouragement. They went downstairs together. When Gu Lingqing saw that Bai Ye wasn't around, he went outside to look for her. Bai Ye found 2 ropes and tied them to the branches. She placed a small quilt between the ropes and made a simple swing. She placed Shosho inside and pushed him gently. Shosho was very happy. He sat comfortably in the middle of the quilt and swayed. He was smiling so much that he couldn't close his mouth. Gu Lingqing walked to Bai Ye's side. I'll get someone to prepare 2 swings here later. I also want to put a playground in the backyard, as well as flowers and plants. Anyway, I see that there's space there. You can leave this matter to me, Bai Ye said. She didn't want him to worry about such a small matter. Let me tell you a piece of good news. Buhua has agreed to let Shen Yan go, Gu Lingqing said. Bai Ye paused and looked at him in surprise. Is what you said true? Yes, he agreed. But before Shen Yan is released, I need to meet him, Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. Yes, that's great. When will he be released? Bai Ye asked happily. I don't know yet. He agreed to let him go. Maybe in 2 days. After all, he needs to plan before he is released. Then I'll tell this good news to Lu Shuang tonight. Gu Lingqing nodded. Lin Shulan came out to look for Bai Ye and Gu Lingqing. He said respectfully, Chief Madam, Old Madam wants you to go back to eat crabs. She said the crabs are cooked. Okay. Bai Ye carried Shosho out. Time to eat crabs. Crabs are cold. It's better for children not to eat them, Gu Lingqing reminded. Chief Madam, you go and eat first. The meal is not ready yet. I'll bring Shosho here, Lin Shulan said. Gu Lingqing and Bai Ye looked at each other. After all, they still had to accompany Xing Buhua. It was not convenient to bring Shosho along. Thank you, Bai Ye said and handed Shosho to Lin Shulan. Lin Shulan continued to play outside with Shosho while Bai Ye and Gu Lingqing went in. Xing Buhua was already sitting at the dining table. He was texting on his phone. In front of him were 4 large plates of crabs. There were a total of 20 crabs and the dipping sauce prepared by Song Shiyu. You're back, Xing Buhua said with a smile and put his phone on the table. The crab is really big. This is the first time I've eaten such a big crab this year. Gu Lingqing held Bai Ye's hand and walked over. This crab was a gift from my former comrade. Baya took a crab and placed it in her hands. It was a little hot, so she placed it on the plate and used a pair of scissors to remove the crab's legs. When she was in the United States, she had eaten king crab more often. The meat of the crab was more tender. Is it good? Gu Lingqing asked, putting the peeled meat on her plate. I am Qin Tang Tang. The novel has been made into a radio drama. Follow me on WeChat Fairy Lake, then you can listen to it. Chapter 8:16. Baya nodded. It's delicious. It's totally different from the emperor crab. You can eat it yourself and taste it yourself. It's even better. Xing Buhua looked at their interaction and smiled. Are you guys still going to the deserted island? It's a good time to go now. Let's finish what you said and take a few days off. We'll bring Mom, Shosho and the rest on vacation, Gu Lingqing said. Don't you want to invite me? Xing Buhua asked disappointedly. You've been so busy lately. Even if I invite you, you won't have time. Didn't you say that you're going to Country M with your wife? Gu Lingqing asked. Xing Buhua's eyes flashed. Do you have wine? The crab should be accompanied with white wine. One hot and one cold to neutralize the other. Don't you have to go to work in the afternoon? You're the president now. Everything you say and do is being scrutinized, Gu Lingqing reminded him. I haven't had any rest since I became the president. Today is a gathering with my family. I can rest for half a day, Xing Buhua said sadly. That position seems high and mighty. It's the pinnacle of power, but it's also the pinnacle of pressure. There are gains and losses. If you experience it, your name will go down in history. I'll go get the wine, Gu Lingqing said. She stood up and went to the basement to get the wine. Xing Buhua looked at Baya. If I say that I regret my decision, will there be any medicine for regret? Baya had forgotten most of the past. She didn't remember Zhang Xingyu, Gu Lingqing or Xing Buhua. She didn't even remember what she said to Xing Buhua. There's no medicine for regret in this world. If you want to turn back and let go of your obsession, it's possible. However, you can't let go of it anymore, right? Baya said gently. The days I miss the most are the days when I was doing missions. I have ambitions. I want to be the president and avenge my parents, Xing Buhua sighed. You should avenge your parents now and become the president, Baya said. Yes, but my heart is empty. It's not difficult to be the president. I just used a plan and I reached the peak. But it's hard to keep this position. I'm afraid that if I make the slightest mistake, I'll end up like Shen Yan, imprisoned for 2 years, or even longer. Because you're the president, you can't be an ordinary person. You need to be more strict with yourself and regulate your actions. Even if it's a decision, you have to think twice before you act. The greater the power, the greater the responsibility. God is fair to everyone, Baya sighed. I understand now why Lingqing gave up the position of the president. He knew what he wanted and what the future would be like. He didn't want to pursue higher things. He wanted to be content. That's why you managed to protect yourself in the end. Xing Buhua looked at Baya deeply. That's because I have you as my support. That's why I'm living a happy life now. We're a family. That's why Xiaoya and I will help you. Gu Lingqing came out with a bottle of white wine. Baya went into the kitchen and took out 3 small cups. Song Shiyu was still cooking. Mom, come and eat. There are so many crabs. I'm full after eating them. You guys go eat first. I'll be back soon, Song Shiyu said with a smile. When she was young, she didn't like to be in the kitchen. She was afraid of cooking. At her age, her son wasn't by her side. She was satisfied to be able to cook for her son. Baya didn't force her. She took the cups and went out. Gu Lingqing opened the bottle and poured 3 cups of wine. Xing Buhua raised his cup. This cup is for you and Baya to grow old together. May you live a peaceful, healthy and happy life. Gu Lingqing raised his cup and clinked it with Xing Buhua. Baya followed Gu Lingqing and clinked their cups with Xing Buhua. You too. May you live a peaceful and healthy life, Gu Lingqing said and drank it in one gulp. He filled up Xing Buhua's cup again. For the second cup, I hope that you and Baya will be together forever and have a few babies. It's a waste not to have more babies with such good genes, Xing Buhua said jokingly and drank the wine in one gulp. Baya realized that although Xing Buhua and Gu Lingqing looked exactly the same, their personalities were completely different. Xing Buhua was talkative and liked to laugh. He was always smiling. Even if he was sad, he would still smile. Gu Lingqing was a man of few words. He didn't like to laugh. He always kept a straight face. Even if he encountered something funny, he would only smile slightly. Let's eat the crab first. Don't drink so much wine directly. It's not good for your stomach. I'll go check if there are any peanuts in the fridge, Baya said. She got up and went to the fridge to see if there were any dishes to go with the wine. Xing Buhua's smile widened. It feels good to have a beloved woman nagging beside my ear. No, Hua. Are things not going well between you and Mu Wan? Gu Lingqing guessed. I have a strange feeling about her. Let's not talk about her. Let's talk about this crab. It looks really good. Xing Buhua changed the topic. If you like it, I'll buy some fresh ones from my comrade tomorrow and send them to you. Don't. This crab is only interesting when there are many people. If I eat it alone, I don't think it tastes good. If I want to eat it again next time, I'll come here again. It's convenient to fly anyway. Xing Buhua said and drank a cup of wine. Baya really found some peanuts in the fridge. She poured them into a bowl, added some sour vinegar and sugar, and served it. Baya, you believe in fortune tellers, don't you? Tell me, Lingqing and I look the same and are born the same. Why are our destinies so different? It's so far apart. Xing Buhua asked with a smile. Your names are different. Names can also affect destinies. So many people will look for fortune tellers when they want to name their children. I know a very famous fortune teller. I have his WeChat and mobile number. Why don't you ask him if he wants to tell your fortune for you? Baya also joked. Yes. You can contact him now and ask him. If his fortune is accurate, I'll have to give him the title of National Advisor. Baya paused. Are you serious? Of course I'm joking. But I'm telling you to ask him. It's true. Xing Buhua corrected her. Baya also wanted to contact the fortune teller since she was back in China. After all, they got along well and were like-minded. She called the fortune teller. The call was answered. Baya, I wanted to call you too and you called me. What a coincidence, Grandmaster Gufa said with a smile. Yes, where are you now? Baya asked. I've renounced asceticism today and rented a house. I'm going to look for a job tomorrow. Baya was stunned and asked in surprise. You've returned to the secular world? I am Qin Tang Tang. The novel has been made into a radio drama. Follow me on WeChat Fairy Lake, then you can listen to it. You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.